have people making good decisions, you can convert on third down. And third down conversion is a huge thing to keep the momentum, keep the ball, don't have to punt, those type of things. And so far, we've done a pretty good job on third down.
Yeah, you've only punted the ball so far 3 times this year. When we go on the other side of the ball and look at your defense, how do you think the Trojans did on defense Friday night?
I thought we did a good job. We gave up 2 big plays. We gave up that run there, the first play of the game, and then we gave up a pass that was long on the second or third drive there. But I thought other than that, we did a pretty good job of playing team defense. And we've got to make sure we have a lot of guys running to the ball. I'm not sure we did that as well as we did at Minneapolis, but I felt like we did a pretty good job of playing team defense.
I know you couldn't have been thrilled with the kickoff going out of bounds to start the game, but other than that, how do you think your special teams did?
I didn't think our special teams were as good as they have been.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good at Minneapolis. I thought they were outstanding Minneapolis. We had that opening kickoff out of bounds, and that's going to happen with your kicker once in a while. But we also had, they returned that one for a touchdown. We had a little breakdown. They bobbled a punt, and they bobbled it, and then we didn't have a couple people in the right spots to cover that up also. And that's a tough play. We want to get a good return, but we got to make sure the ball's kicked before we take off and leave. So, I wouldn't grade our special teams at a high level right now.
A lot of people have you ranked in the top 2 in Class 2A in the state. 49-17, you get the win over Halstead. You move to 4-0. This kind of feels like, though, that you have all these skill guys, most of them skill guys, back, and they're kind of stabilizing the ship. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of these guys that are learning as we go. I feel like the upside of this team is still yet to be determined. How do you feel about the team and where they are right now?
I really think we're getting better. I think we got better last night in practice. We were struggling a little bit to start out with, and Coach Potocnik had some inspirational words for us. And, I thought the kids responded to that real well and did a better job. But I think our upside is big. I think our offensive and defensive linemen are really coming around, but I think we can get better. And then we as we add stuff throughout the season to get guys isolated and things like that, I think we'll continue to get better.
How'd your week go for you?
So far, it's been good. Like I said, Tuesday, we struggled there to start practice out, but it's everything else has gone pretty well.
You have a unique opportunity here. Not only are you back at home, but also you have an opportunity to step out of district play. Right now, you're 1-0. You have the maximum amount of points possible at a plus 21 after your victory over Halstead. Now you step out of district and out of class. You go to 3A, and you're playing Clay Center. Last time you played Clay Center was 2 years ago in the playoffs here on this field. But this is a Tiger team that's off to a hot start. They had a rough opening week against a very, very good upper 4A team in Wamego. But since then, they have had really, really good victories over Chapman, Abilene, and then a 61-0 victory over Hiawatha last Friday night. What do you see when you look at the Tigers?
Yeah, I'd say athletes. They've got a lot of athletes all over the field. They've got good speed. They do a good job running the flex bone on offense, and then they'll run downhill and make tackles on defense. So they're a very good football team. Obviously, Wamego did beat them early on, but they had some guys that hadn't played a lot of football, and then they're going up against a very good Wamego team, and that game didn't turn out the way they wanted to, I'm sure. But since then, they've put stuff together, and they do an outstanding job. They run the ball and throw the ball a little bit, and like I said, they play awful good defense.
When you look at Clay Center and then also knowing what your guys are capable of, what do you want to accomplish here tonight in this game against the Tigers for success?
We've got to cut down on turnovers. That's always something we talk about and take care of the football very well. We got to get first downs. The conversion rate there at Halstead is where you want to be, and we want to continue with that. We want to continue to get first downs and keep moving the football, keep the ball out of their hands. I think that's a big key. Shut down the run game to start out with. They do an outstanding job of throwing the football also, but that flexible offense is set up on being able to run the football, and we got to do a good job against them when they're running the football.
Coach Mitch Gebhardt, his guys tonight back at home to take on the Clay Center Tigers. Both of these teams have scored 143 points in their last 3 games. Interesting note there for you, Coach. So it may be whoever's defense steps up tonight, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. Both defenses are going to be tested tonight.
Trojans and the Tigers kick off right around the corner as Trojan pregame continues on right here on KINA.
This has been Countdown to Kickoff. The opening kick is right around the corner.
It's about to get ugly.
Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KIN.
Welcome into the campus of Southeast of Saline here in Gypsum as the Southeast of Saline Trojans welcome in the Clay Center Tigers. Clay Center comes in 3-1 on the year, suffered a loss to a good Wamego team the first game of the year and kind of been on a roll since. Southeast Saline comes in 4-0 tonight. Teams just now taking the field. Kind of take a look around the state, what other games are going on in the area. Salina Central at Valley Center. Hutch at Salina South. Rose Hill travels to Abilene. Chapman with a tough test at Wichita Collegiate. Rock Hills at El Saline. Solomon at Gossel. Washington County at Bennington. Temperature tonight, 78, going to drop down to roughly around 68 degrees, about a 10-degree drop-off wind. Southeast, 12 to 16 miles an hour. Down on the field earlier before the game, wind is kind of whipping around down there. Up in the stands, it's not bad, but you can feel it whipping around down there on the field. Take a look at the new image audio keys to the game tonight, and I think as we welcome in Devin Haney, the new image keys to the game, I think it's defense, Devin. You got to be these. We know these offenses put up points. You talked about it. They both put up 140-plus points in the last 3 games. So I think if it's defense, and you got to contain the run if you're Southeast of Saline.
You mentioned a little bit when we were talking off the air before the game, it's almost a little bit of a reminder of the Chapman playoff game last year, where Southeast of Saline was up what seemingly was a non-stoppable running attack for the Irish. The difference in that is Chapman showed no inkling, no itch, nothing on wanting to throw the ball. They threw one pass right before halftime in that playoff game. That got intercepted. That was it. They never tried to pass it again. Clay Center, I think, even though they are very, very run-heavy, they're 90%, 10% probably run to pass. I think if things get tough in the running game for them and they are shifted out of that, they do have a plan B where they might be able to throw the football. We looked at their quarterback in warm-ups, Mark Hoffman. He is a lefty, but, man, he throws a nice ball. That ball comes out, and it is tight. It is on a rope, and he puts in spots where his receivers know where it's at. Most of the time it's right up around their helmet. Their hands are high. They go up for the ball, and he throws a nice ball. So there is that aspect of Clay Center's offense where I think Southeast of Saline could be tested tonight. When we flip the script, though, on that, it is one of those things that if Clay Center scores some points, are they going to be enough points to keep up with the Southeast of Saline offense? We're used to talking Trojan defense all the time. That's all we talk about because they've had the best defense in the state of Kansas the last 2 years. They're very good again this year. But their offense is averaging over 450 yards per game and 45 points per contest. Their offense this year is just a juggernaut.
Yeah, defense will keep you in games, but you got to score points to win. And you kind of go that Southeast averaging over 400 yards a game, and this is kind of a stat that jumped out at both of us when you look at the split down the middle of rushing yards per game, passing yards per game for Southeast. It's only a half a yard difference in average per game. Southeast averaging 217 yards a game in the air and 216 and a half yards a game on the rush. Over to Clay Center, you talk about they can pass, and the ball does look good coming out of quarterback Hoffman's hands. We saw that in warm-ups. 16 for 33 for 298 yards. One other quarterback has seen a little bit of time, but they've only thrown the ball 40 times all year, so only 10 times a game coming into game number 5 of the season. So if they do need to pass, I think it's still going to be a little iffy if what they're going to deal with only throwing it 40 times all year.
Another footnote, too, on Mark Kaufman, the quarterback for Clay Center, is he doesn't seem like he is run heavy. When you look at his statistics throughout the year, he's only had 12 carries in the first 4 games. I mean, you do the quick math on that, it's easy. It's only averaging about 3 carries per game. So maybe when things break down on him, when he's scrambling out, he just doesn't carry the ball a lot. 12 carries, 76 yards, that's really all he's done in the rushing game.
Yeah, and he's added 3 touchdowns onto that. So that tells me if you're not running the ball that much, he's getting the carries inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. So you're going to have to play all-around well defense if you're Southeast Saline all 4 quarters tonight.
Clay Center, they're going to receive to begin this game. And they're Mr. Everything, it seems like. The king of the Tigers is Brody Hayes. Hayes will be back deep. He will handle really all of the return duties for Clay Center if the ball is kicked deep. Brody Hayes will be there. He is a junior, and he is 5'10", 180 pounds. We're going to see Brody Hayes all night long. And how about this? 22 carries, 303 yards for Brody Hayes. Just outstanding numbers for the Clay Center Tiger Jr. Wyatt Boyd has his hands in the air. Purple jerseys, white pants will kick off to Clay Center. They're wearing their orange, black, and white jerseys. And Brody Hayes will bring it out across the 30-yard line after he took the deep ball from Wyatt Boyd. He'll start it out here at the 30. Clay Center's offense on the field for the first time.
Yeah, great job by the special teams there. You know, he talked about, you and Mitch Gebhardt had a little conversation there in pregame about special teams, and he always thinks they can get better. Special teams have improved, but there's always room for improvement with him, and special teams is going to be huge tonight. 2
wingbacks in this first set for Clay Center. Jackson Henry, the lone wide receiver, he will split out wide to the right-hand side. Mark Hoffman looking over the defensive set for Southeast of Saline. Hoffman now looking, and he goes over to his coaching staff, now points up at something, and the officials are going to stop play here.
I can reset the play clock.
Okay, and now we are ready to go. Hoffman will duck under center. A couple of big offensive linemen here for the Tigers. Now they're all going to turn and look over at their sideline. Luke Young leads this offensive line from his left guard spot. He's 310 pounds. Can bet they're going to run behind him quite a bit tonight. Hoffman finally takes the snap. He is going to run the option over the left-hand side, and just as we said, he doesn't carry the ball a lot. He keeps it here on the first down of the game. Gets 5 yards as he's out to the 35-yard line on the first play.
Yeah, and on that first play, I noticed the center for Golden Spellman. If you notice his stance, he's kind of legs way back. It's like he's going and coming and going to come out low and take the knees of Josiah Monday up front.
At the 36 now, Clay Center is looking over to the sideline. They're going to do this pretty much all night long. Mitch Gebhardt told me he expected this, and that is running the play clock down, coming to the line of scrimmage, not necessarily ready to go, but then getting ready to go as they're all lined up. And they're going to milk this clock and try to slow this game down as much as possible. Here's a give off the left side. Running behind Luke Young is Carter Long. Long will get a couple of yards on the play, and that'll bring up second down and a long 3 for the Tigers.
Yeah, and Clay Center going to keep everybody within the hash. They go no huddle, but like you just said, they're going to run the play clock down under 10 seconds just about every time.
From the 38, third down and a long 3. Still with one wide receiver. Now a guy goes in motion and goes to the backfield, but then stops. That was Owen Craig. Again, the Tigers looking to the east, to their sideline, looking to see what's going on over there. Signals being called in by a coach and a couple of different players. Now looking at the wristband, Hoffman will duck under center. Movement up front. This will be a procedure penalty against the Tigers, I believe.
Yeah, and I think you're right. You're asking a lot of an offensive lineman. You know, they're getting in, going no huddle, and when the play clock resets to 40 after a live play and they get right down in 10 seconds, you can't pick your hand back up if you're an offensive lineman. Yeah, you can turn and look around, but you're asking a lot of those big guys up front to have their hand in the ground that long.
So that 3rd and 3 turns into a 3rd and 8. They'll back it up here to the 33-yard line. Opening drive of the game, Southeast of Saline's defense, they're scurrying around, but they have plenty of time to get set. You can see Luke Gebhardt coming up from his safety spot. He's going to take one of the wide receivers. Now there's 2 of them to the right-hand side. Clay Center wants to run to that side. They're going to try to string it out, cut it back up, and there is Landon Allen and company as Allen sticks his shoulder pads right into the ball carrier, Owen Craig, and just stops him completely at the 36-yard line. 4th down and 6 coming up.
And Clay Center coming in averaging 308.8 yards a game on the ground. So I think if you're Southeast, you've got to come out and set the tone, and that's exactly what happened, only giving up 6 yards on that first drive of the game.
4th down and 5 for Clay Center. They will come in, they will punt. Luke Gebhardt and Michael Murray back deep. Here's the punt. Looks like it's going to be Luke. He's going to take it at the 28-yard line. Good chip block there by Murray. Luke gets to the outside on the left-hand side, takes a hit in the thigh pads, and he's going to be brought down at the 40-yard line. Good field position here to start out for Southeast of Saline's offense, led by Luke Gebhardt. Last week, Luke had 11 completions on 21 attempts, 205 yards, had 3 touchdowns and an interception throwing. He also had 20 carries for 119 yards on the ground, rushing the football for Southeast of Saline. Nathan Friesen went over 100 yards last week against Halstead, 17 carries, 112 yards for the junior tailback. He also had 2 touchdowns finding the end zone. Pistol formation, Landon Allen inside. Here's the give to Friesen, right at the middle. Friesen nearly broke it free, but he was caught by the shoestrings by Brody Hayes, the safety, and a 1st down for Southeast of Saline. It's 11 on the first carry of the game for Nathan Friesen.
And Nathan Friesen with his 57th carry of the year, 337 yards coming into this game, and 8 rushing touchdowns.
Across the 50 to the Clay Center 49. Here's Friesen on the fake. Gebhardt will keep it, string it left-hand side, and he will plunge ahead to the 47-yard line on a gain of 2. Boy, Friesen on that play, Russ, was shoestrings away from being in the end zone and us talking about his 9th touchdown of the year.
Yeah, and Friesen does a great job. When he gets the handoff, he is trying to get full speed downhill at the line of scrimmage, running past the first level, and like you said, a shoestring away from getting into the end zone.
2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard gain by Luke Gebhardt. He'll throw it out here to Tucker Thaxton. Thaxton caught the football and he fumbled it. Fortunately, that football found the sidelines and went out of bounds. I believe they're going to call it a catch, as the Clay Center sideline is asking for that to be incomplete. It was clearly a catch. The hit brought the ball loose, so you can make that argument there, but they're going to say 3rd and inches here for for the Southeast of Saline offense.
Yeah, and unfortunate right there. Great hit by the Clay Center defense, and Thaxton real lucky that ball did get out of bounds.
Just about 7 yards on that play. Ball at the 40. Southeast needs a football length to pick up the first down. They go back to Friesen. Friesen's going to have clear space again, as that offensive line for Southeast of Saline had Clay Center jerseys pancaked and pinned to the ground. Friesen with the first down.
Yeah, and Brody Hayes coming up right there, used to delivering the punch on the offensive side of the ball. Will meet Nate Friesen from Southeast of Saline, as that was a collision after about a gain of 8 yards.
Friesen has 20 on his first 2 carries. Football sitting at the 34-yard line in Tigerland. 1st down and 10, Southeast of Saline. Here's the fake to Friesen. Gebhardt will keep it. Gets chipped as he comes through the line of scrimmage and then taken down by one of the linebackers for the Clay Center Tigers. Actually, that was safety Talon Fitzenmeyer. Gain of about a yard on the play for Luke Gebhardt.
Yeah, and so far the line of scrimmage being won by Southeast Saline on both sides of the ball. You have to set the tone early to get this offensive run game going.
2nd down and 9, pistol formation. It's Friesen directly behind Luke Gebhardt. They fake it, play action, out to Murray on the bubble. Michael Murray wanting to cut back, and he's going to make it to about the 30 on a gain of 4.
Tucker Thaxton did a great job holding his block out there and kind of turning the guy inside, trying to get Murray out. He just cut that one back up into the middle, and Thaxton had to let go, knowing he was going to get caught with a hold right there.
Murray missed week 3 with an injury, but when he came out last week, he was electric. 5 receptions, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, and then also a rushing touchdown. 3rd down and 8 here. 3 wide receivers to the left-hand side. Gebhardt wants to roll that way. Luke's going to rise up and throw. Has Murray at the 20. Inside the 20 to the 19 to the 18. Michael Murray has a first down for Southeast of Saline.
And a great drive going right here. A mix-up of run and pass. And on the first drive of the game, when you can drive the length of the field from the 40 down inside the first drive to the Can-Equip red zone.
In the red zone for the first time at the 18-yard line is the Trojan offense. They will put 2 wide receivers on the left-hand side. Jake Gebhardt by himself on the right. Luke wants to roll that way. Has a Tiger chasing him back of the end zone. Jake rising up and bringing it down. A beautiful ball just tucked in underneath the crossbar at the back of the end zone. Jake Gebhardt rises up and puts both gloves on it for Southeast of Saline's first score of the night.
And that is complete trust right there by Luke Gebhardt, throwing that ball up, knowing that Jake's got to go up and get it. Throwing it just early enough where Jake can rise up, high point the football, and avoid the huge hit from the offside safety coming over and able to corral it and come down with it. A great throw and a great catch and a great drive to finish it off and cap it off with 6.
A lot of greats in there, I agree. 18 yards on the pitch and catch. That was a first down play for Southeast of Saline. Landon Allen now will snap it back in the swing gate. Low snap, Gebhardt will take it. Luke rolling out to the right. Now he's going to pause, looking for a throw. Back of the end zone again, and cannot connect with Jake Gebhardt. It had to be to the outside, back of the pylon, on that back corner of the end zone. They just couldn't connect, and Southeast comes up empty on the point after conversion. 7:14 left to go. First quarter, Southeast of Saline leads at 6-0 as you listen to Trojan football here on KINA.
It's 3rd down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
For the 5th time this season, the Twins have hooked up for a touchdown. Luke Gebhardt, Jake Gebhardt, 18 yards, and they have put in Southeast of Saline out front here as each team has had a possession, 6-0 Southeast.
So that will be Luke's 10th touchdown pass of the year, half of them going to Jake.
Makes sense. Here's Wyatt Boyd on the kick. This one much shorter. He's going to place this one right in the soft spot of that return team for Clay Center, and the coverage is good, but a Tiger gets away and gets about an extra 5 yards after first initial contact. And they're going to start out here at about the 30-yard line. Talon Fitzenmeyer on the return that time for the Tigers. And he brought it to the 35.
And Grady, the first one down there, just kind of was unable to wrap up. Slowed him up enough to allow Friends to get there and keep him from a good game.
First down and 10 Tigers. We saw them with a very methodical pace, almost a four corners type if you want to use a basketball reference. They're standing at the line of scrimmage now. Play clock down to 10. Here's a guy in motion. Hoffman keeps it, hides it on his hip. Now he's going to throw it over the top of everybody. His receiver fell down. Wouldn't have made it there anyway, as that ball looks like it may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. It came out really funny from the southpaw Mark Hoffman at the Clay Center Tigers quarterback.
Yeah, and Trevor Keller had a beat on him right there. He had to get rid of it as Trevor was bearing down on him from the backside.
Trevor had a good week last week against Halstead, as that defensive line just continues to play well for Southeast of Saline. They're shuffling around now. Three of them down. Linebacker showing blitz. Isaacson and Chambers both come up to the line of scrimmage. Now they relax as Clay Center relaxes and checks their plays on their wrists. Play clock down to 5. Hoffman, long count, takes the snap, and he is going to put it in the belly of a running back that is driven backwards for a loss. Josiah Monday, one of the first ones there, along with Slade Johnson, as they both come from their defensive end spot. Also, Caden Isaacson arriving on the scene for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, great job by Monday and Slade Johnson right there to get through the line. Just a little swim move up front, fill the hole, and allow the linebackers to come up.
Back to the 34-yard line. 3rd down and 11 for the Tigers. And you wouldn't think this type of schedule down in distance would be friendly to this Tiger offense.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same offense you see when you play Beloit earlier in the year. They're going to more than likely run the football.
3rd and 11 here. Tall task. That's Trojan defense, all within 7 yards of the line of scrimmage. Here's a screen pass and a missed tackle that time by Southeast of Saline, but the second wave got him. Landon Allen, Daniel Kerr, all arriving there for Southeast of Saline, and they hold that down to just a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, more like a triple option read right there, fake to the running back, and it looked like might have been Trevor Keller again or Slade Johnson, whichever one was on the defensive end of this side, did a great job of taking the quarterback and taking him down.
Here's the punt. Some heat on that one. Looks like Luke Gebhardt will take it on a fair catch at the 33-yard line as he felt some Tigers bearing down on him. And once again, Southeast of Saline has very good field position. They will start out here on their second drive at their own 33. 5:35 left to go here, first quarter. 6-0 is Southeast of Saline football, brought to you by Elite Sports Paintball Complex. Our good buddy Jake Dixon, Southeast of Saline alum, is getting ready to host the Zombie Expedition. You want to have tickets now, it is zombieexpedition.com. Very informative video on the Facebook. If you've never done Zombie Expedition, you have to check it out. It is a great event coming up in October at Elite Sports Paintball Complex. Southeast of Saline, 1st down and 10. They're going to throw it out to the right-hand side. There's Jake Gebhardt, defender coming in on him. He's going to be stopped forward progress for a gain of, wow, they keep walking back here. The official is going to say he's all the way back here at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, he caught that ball at about the 38 and a half, 39-yard line, but where first contact was. But let's go back. Clay Center is going to kill the clock and run it under 5 seconds every time. If you're Southeast, you need to get points every drive, and that will force them out of their comfort zone and how they do things.
Second catch by Jake Gebhardt, 21 yards, and that touchdown. Here's Murray on the sweep around. Good blocks out in front. They seal it. Murray back to the inside. Taps the brakes at the 50. He's across midfield now. Tigers trying to rip out that football, and Michael Murray gets all the way to the 50-yard line. What a carry that time by Murray. It's 15 yards and a first down.
Yeah, great job right there once again by Tucker Thaxton on the outside. And Nate Friesen, as they both led Nate out on the lead block, and Thaxton and Friesen do a great job of containing the outside and allowing Michael Murray to follow them up the line.
Clay Center, in efforts to strip that football, got awfully handsy up around the head, neck, and face area. Murray did not appreciate that when he popped up off the pile. First down and 10, though, for the Trojans as they stack 3 people to the left-hand side. Murray, one of them, he goes in motion. Fake to Murray. Gebhardt keeps it into the second level and a 5-yard gain on first down. Matt Chambers just took a defensive player for Clay Center and drove him all the way back to the opposite 45-yard line.
Yeah, he just picked a pancake block nonetheless. Just let him get through and turn him in. He made that block, and now it appears it was Paxton Riles right there, and they're checking him out of the game after that one play right there. But a great job by this offensive line once again.
They're subbing in the large Luke Young, 309 pounds. Boy, he looks like a big guy. Here is a stretch play, right-hand side. Murray cuts it back into the hash again after he tried to stretch it, breaks the tackle, still running and churning those feet, and he's inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. 17 yards by Michael Murray.
Yeah, and that's just another great job by Friesen and the offensive line. And I believe that time it was Jake Gebhardt out there, just a great chip block enough to hold the guys out and turn them and allow Michael Murray to get up the field once again.
First down and 10 at the 30. 3 wide receivers, left-hand side. Luke wants to roll that way. Now he's going to stop, set his feet, looking for somewhere to go. He's in trouble, and he's going to take a loss of 2 yards. Just quite couldn't get that play to develop the way he wanted to, and Luke swallowed it instead of making a mistake.
And that's exactly right. Earlier in the year, maybe the first 2 games, we saw him try to take a shot down the field. That's where the interceptions started to pile up. So I think knowing that's just first down, it's okay to tuck that one instead of turning it over.
Luke's thrown 5 interceptions this year. All season last year, he only had 4. So that's something that it's a pace they don't want to continue. Second down and 13 now. Back to the 33-yard line where they'll fake it to Friesen. Gebhardt will keep it. Luke into the second level again. He's inside the 25 and gets brought down at about the 23 on a gain of 10. That will put them back on schedule as the Southeast of Saline offense now looking at a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and a great job right there by center Nathan Weller. He's clearly undersized with the big 300-pounder that checks in, but won the battle right there, driving him way out of the direction of the running back.
23-yard line, 3rd down and 3 for the Trojans. You got to believe this is going to be 2 plays to pick this up. If they don't get it here, they'll run another one on 4th down. Gebhardt, little flag route, screen to Landon Allen. Stiff arm from Allen, puts his head down, steps out at the 15. What a physical reception and run by Landon Allen of 8 yards. Move the chains for Southeast of Saline.
2 drives, 2 trips into the Can-Equip red zone. So a great job by Southeast to get down the field, conventionally mixing it up once again with the run and the pass.
Landon Allen catches his first ball of the night. He becomes the 4th Trojan to receive a pass from Luke Gebhardt. Pistol formation, Friesen directly behind Gebhardt. Snap a little bit to the outside. Luke, though, will get it. Friesen runs over a Tiger and gets to the 9. Look at the second level blocking going on. Isaacson was down there meeting linebackers trying to get Nathan Friesen into the end zone.
Yeah, and this line and Friesen and even the receiver, really all 10 who have to block while one carrier has the ball, do a great job of getting to the first level and then headhunting and looking for the second level to go down.
Friesen averaging 8 yards a carry here early on. He is out as a wide receiver now, 5 wide. Gebhardt will keep it, gets away from a Tiger, now gets away from a second. Rolling out to the right-hand side, he tries to cut it back up into the middle, and Luke Gebhardt that time got a couple of yards, made some lemonade out of lemons, and it's going to be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, somehow turned that into a not loss of about 6 or 7 yards where he was taken down. A great job of getting out of one tackle. You always worry when a defender's hanging on by one ankle and then twists and turn around that you don't want to get an ankle injured right there. But a great job by Luke to get positive yards.
Football at the 7-yard line. Southeast can still get a first down right inside of the 5. Right now it's 3rd down and 3. Pistol formation again. Here comes Murray. They're going to fake it to him. Luke, a little jump cut inside into the hole, reaching for the goal line, but he's going to be 2 yards shy. He does have the first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Trojans.
You had one official on the far side at about the half-yard line. You got the other one back up at about the 3. But I think nonetheless it's still going to be enough for a first down.
Gain of 3 on the play. Gebhardt 20 yards so far on 7 carries. We've seen people key on him quite a bit. His running this season has not been easy, but he's done a good job with it. Now has the Trojans first down and goal at the 4. Gebhardt this time has Friesen with him. They're going to give it to Murray. Murray trying to stretch it out. Now he's going to plant the foot, cut back inside. Maybe got a yard or 2 on the play. They're going to move it from the 4 to the 2 on a 2-yard gain. Second down and goal coming up from the 2.
And Murray's showing a lot of patience out there, kind of letting the blocking develop. That time it was just unable to anything to go, so he just kind of planted his foot and knew he wasn't going to get outside, just get positive yards. But on first down, playbook wide open right here. We've seen throws to the end zone, the corner. We've seen great catches in the end zone, but we've also seen a heavy dose of number 3, Nate Friesen, right here.
When you have the wheels and the burst that Michael Murray has, it has to be awfully tempting. Try to stretch it to the outside every time. He's doing more cutting back tonight in this game. Here's a fake to Friesen. Gebhardt trying to stretch it left-hand side. Finds a linebacker, now cuts it in. Gets a yard on the play. It'll be the third down and goal at the 1. Actually, they're going to say he lost a yard. And that will be the end of the first quarter. So we'll have to flip fields all the way down to the other end. We'll walk 98 yards the other way. Southeast of Saline will have a third down and goal when we come back. At the end of 1, it's 6-0. Southeast of Saline over Clay Center right here on KINA.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shelby Dixon reporting live for Elite Sports Zombie Expedition ESZE, Channel 23. We are here at Elite Sports, just right south of Salina, in between Old Highway 81 and I-135. There is currently a zombie apocalypse occurring where the infected are trying to eat human flesh. We are currently right outside the quarantine zone, but I'm going to send you inside the quarantine zone to Sergeant Carter.
This is Sergeant Carter. We set up a perimeter to help contain the infected, but we need your help. They are multiplying by the minute. We have trailers with semi-automatic weapons equipped to take down these zombies. If you can pull the trigger, I don't care how old you are, if you can pull the trigger, please come out here and roll to be a zombie hunter and help us.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
A lot of running, a lot of clock running, and a lot of just kind of, here's my chess piece, there's my move, what are you going to do type of deal between these two sidelines here early on in this one. Devin Haney along with Russ Kossel, Brian Dennis providing live stream video on SalinaPost.com. You can check it all out. It is beautiful to see Steve Fritz Field here early fall. Southeast of Saline leading 6-0 as we start second quarter. They've walked from one end all the way down to the other, going from north to south, and still a third down and goal at the 2-yard line this time for Southeast of Saline.
And I think if you're Southeast, you win the line of scrimmage right here like you have so far in these first 2 drives and just run this thing right up the middle and punch it in.
Trojans ready to go. Friesen to the right-hand side of Luke Gebhardt. Gebhardt wants to roll out that way, has the ball at his waist. Pump fake once, now to the back of the end zone. It's picked off. Here comes a big play, maybe, but the Southeast is able to get an interception. He was looking, I think, Luke was at Landon Allen, crossing the back of the end zone, and hopping right in the middle of that is Jackson Henry, the junior, for his second interception of the year. And Clay Center, with a huge play there, turns the Trojans away.
Yeah, there was 3 receivers over there, Landon Allen, Michael Murray, and Tucker Thaxton was coming from the far side, and I think he was trying to get that to him over the top, and the defender read it great, came off of his guy and ran across about 8 yards lateral in the end zone and just snatched it out of the air. Tough break right there for Southeast.
So now the Southeast defense will be called up on once again as Gebhardt, his first incomplete pass of the game. Before that interception, he was 6 out of 6. Now the Tiger offense out. Here's Mark Hoffman under center. Faked it to the first guy through and then kind of tripped his way back almost to the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Yeah, as he was faking the handoff right there, the running back, Carter Long, was getting tackled, and then Hoffman getting tackled at the same time. So great job by the front 3 once again for Southeast.
Again, winning that battle at the line of scrimmage, Rush. You've talked on it quite a bit already, and we saw it right there. Clay Center now looking. Everybody's standing up except for the linemen who are still on a knee with a hand on the ground. Everybody looking over towards the sidelines. Have some scores that'll be coming your way on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard as we start to get those in this evening. Here's Hoffman wanting to run it to the right-hand side. He tucks it, gets across the line of scrimmage, and maybe a yard. Well, they're going to give him 2.
Once again, those front 3 Trevor Keller, Josiah Monday, Slade Johnson, it's 5-on-3 up there, and they are clearly winning this defensive battle on the line.
3rd down and 8 at the 22-yard line. Clay Center needs a big play here to keep this drive alive. 2 wide receivers to the left-hand side. They also have Brody Hayes, who's been awfully quiet tonight on touches of the football on the offensive end. He's lined up in the slot on that same left-hand side as the 2 wide receivers. Play clock down to 5. Hoffman wants to roll out. He's a lefty rolling that way. Avoids Keller. Now he's going to throw it down the end zone, down the sideline. It's going to hit the track as he throws it away. Hoffman now 1 of 3 throwing the football, and now 4th down and 8 coming up as the Trojan defense again holds. Trevor Keller had a beat on him that time. Hoffman just got away.
Yeah, Daniel Kerr with great coverage down the field right here. Nowhere for the football to go, everybody.
Daniel Kerr has been just playing wonderfully this season. Both sides of the ball, but, man, his defense is really, really good. He's 3rd on the team in tackles. Michael Murray, Luke Gebhardt back to receive this. Cameron Whitty with some token pressure along with Jace Van Amberg. This one's going to take a big Tiger bounce. It bounces at the 43, all the way back down to the 30-yard line. But still, all in all, that Trojan defense is keeping the Tigers pinned, and the offense is coming out with good field position once again.
Yeah, and that's about the average, the 30, 35, 40-yard line at the last 2 drives where they've started and able to drive the length of the field. I mean, you get to the length of the field, you get to the 2-yard line, and you throw an interception. So moving the ball doesn't seem to be an issue right now, but you have to not only sustain drives, but you have to finish them and get points on the board.
Tucker Thaxton split wide out to the left. Jake Gebhardt to the right. Luke Gebhardt with Nathan Friesen in the backfield with him. Here's the give to Friesen, then he shovels it off to Michael Murray, and that ball hit the turf, and Murray recovers it. But it's going to be a big loss here for Southeast of Saline. They're going to lose 7 yards.
Yeah, right there, just kind of running the delayed draw to a reverse to Michael Murray, hoping to get him set on the edge, and the handoff between him and Friesen just unable to corral it.
So now all the way back to the 24-yard line. After the loss of 7, it's 2nd down and 17. Here's Gebhardt rolling out to the right. Has that ball ready to go, throws it on time to brother Jake at the 35-yard line, and they pick up 11 yards. Boy, that was just the timing on that route was beautiful.
Yeah, and Clay Center not wanting to give up the deep ball, obviously, as cornerback Jackson Henry right there just was running back, and a great route by Jake to plant his foot and come back to the football. Luke knew exactly where he was going to go, had the ball released before he was out of his break.
3rd down and 6, nose of the football sitting at the 35-yard line. Southeast has slowed their tempo down quite a bit here in this game, too, almost as if to say, Clay Center, we're going to keep you off the field as much as we can. Here's Gebhardt, play action, rolls out. Landon Allen has it. Look out. He is at the 40, gets hit there, reaching for the 1st down. And they're going to say he has it by about a half a yard. Out across the 40 to the 42-yard line goes Landon Allen.
Yeah, and another shoestring tackle right there by Brody Hayes, or Landon Allen would have had a lot of field in front of him. And we've seen the wheels that Landon has had this year when he can get free up the sideline.
To the 42, Southeast recovers from a 2nd and 17 to move the chains. 1st down and 10. Here's Gebhardt rolling out right-hand side, has the ball tucked, and he is going to shake a Tiger in the backfield and then surge ahead to the 45-yard line. Nice little play there by Luke Gebhardt to gain 4.
And you kind of mentioned this earlier, Devin. Luke's runs and the yardage he gets are tough. I mean, every one of them, he's getting hit multiple times. I mean, he's tough to bring down on the first tackle, but as your quarterback, taking a lot of shots.
Yeah, that All-State game was physical last week. Here's Gebhardt now going to the right-hand side. Jake has it at the 50, and he is going to reach the football out for a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, once again, forward progress took him to about the 48-yard line, but they're going to go ahead and let him where he ran him back out of bounds at the 50.
Already 4 catches for Jake Gebhardt. Football sitting on the 50, more in Clay Center territory than in Southeast territory. 3rd down and 2 Friesen in the pistol, directly behind Luke Gebhardt. He'll get the handoff, come to the right-hand side, meets a Tiger at the line of scrimmage, and then surges ahead for a gain of 3. Friesen with a first down for Southeast of Saline.
And kind of a little miscommunication on the offensive line right there between the two the right tackle and the right guard kind of missed a guy. So that was 100% Nate Friesen knowing where the first down was, met the defender, lowered his shoulder, kept his legs moving to pick up the first down.
First down and 10. Again, Southeast throttling back their tempo. They're going much slower than what we're accustomed to. I actually have time to write down stats after every play. First down and 10 here for the Trojans. Gebhardt starts to roll left, and he sneaks in the belly of Friesen. Look out, here comes Nate. 40, 35, meets a Tiger and goes to the 30-yard line. 16 yards by Nathan Friesen.
What a great play call right there by this Southeast Saline coaching staff. Over pursuing everything, like Luke's going to run with the ball and running a little trap play back to the opposite side of the field. Great job right there by Southeast.
And it's halfway through the season that we start to see new wrinkles and new developments by this coaching staff and plays that we have not seen yet this year. That means they're building, they're growing, they're getting better.
It looks like the officials are stopping the game here. I don't know if we got blood on one of the Clay Center as they checked on his arm and then told him he had to come off the field.
So Clay Center will have to substitute here. Brody Hayes was communicating with the sideline on what to do. Southeast of Saline, first down and 10. Ball on the 30. 4 wide receivers, left-hand side. Gebhardt rolling that way, has a man. It's Michael Murray near the sticks at the 20-yard line. Throwing the football on time, Luke Gebhardt outside of that interception has looked phenomenal tonight, and his receivers are coming up big for him. They're going to put the football here at the 19. That's a gain of 11. 3 catches, 28 yards for Murray. Here's Gebhardt, first down and 10 from the 19 in the Caney-Quip red zone. Landon Allen in the middle of the field. Defender falls down. Allen's going to score. 19 yards. Luke Gebhardt to Landon Allen, and Southeast of Saline is on the board again. Defender fell down. Allen had a free pass, and he is in the end zone.
And that was a great job right there, Hart, to get the ball to Landon Allen. A great job planting his foot, getting back up the field.
So it's been a dominant performance here in the first half for Southeast of Saline. 7:03 left to go. The scoreboard doesn't show the dominance, but boy, when you look at time of possession, when you look at number of plays ran, when you look at yardage, Southeast of Saline dominating this game so far here in the first half. Southeast now running the swinging gate. Murray in motion. Luke Gebhardt wants to roll out. He has a flood of receivers to that side. Now he's under pressure, has to hit as he throws. Jake Gebhardt trying to come back, and he cannot get there. And Southeast of Saline leaves another PAT on the field, but they lead it 12-0. 7:03 left to play. It's second quarter. Southeast of Saline football is brought to you by Elite Sports Paintball Complex and the Zombie Expedition on KINA.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses acquire relief loans to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Devin and Russ back here at Southeast of Saline at Steve Fritz Field. We're here at the home field for the first time in almost a month. Remember, we opened the season on September 2nd. We're knocking on the door of October, with tomorrow being October 1st. That is crazy to me to think about, but also a ton of credit goes to these Southeast kids going on the road for 3 consecutive games and coming away with dominating wins in all 3 contests. Bennington State Bank scoreboard, our first check, Wichita Collegiate and Chapman. They are tied at 0 at the end of the first quarter.
Interesting there.
Russ has made his way down to the field for a closer look at the action and a conversation with Mitch Gebhardt at halftime. Clay Center takes the pop-up kick from Wyatt Boyd, and they will call for a fair catch at their own 35-yard line. So no return there by the Tigers, who are looking to get something going here. The Tigers still yet to get a first down.
Yeah, and I think if you're Southeast, you got to continue to win the line of scrimmage, set the tone. They've set it early. These three up front just doing an excellent job. Just continue to do what you're doing.
How long can you keep this pace, Russ, when you are behind is the question, I think, for Clay Center. It is very methodical. It is very slow. And right now, Southeast of Saline is doing a good job penetrating into the backfield. Mark Hoffman got away there, though, and was able to pick up 4 on the play.
So those front three for Southeast right there on that play, notice it down here on field level now. They're wrapping up both the quarterback and the running back at the same time. It's just Hoffman was able to slip that tackle.
2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain by Hoffman. Tigers come back to the line of scrimmage. Mitch Gebhardt goes jogging down the sideline as he comes now to eyeball the line of scrimmage. Still moving. Now he's going to take a look at the Clay Center backfield. Here's the handoff. Comes off on a counter, left-hand side. This is going to be a positive run for the Tigers. Carter Long, he will get about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 3 coming up.
And I think this is a big drive if you're Clay Center, because if you get stopped here and have to punt the football away, Southeast having enough time, and Southeast will receive the ball to start the second half.
Yep, good point. You always got to look around the corner, see who's going to get that first possession. 3rd down and 4. Here for the Tigers. They spot the football at the 42-yard line. Tigers looking over the formation. They don't have any wide receivers. They have 2 guys standing up in tight, and then a full house of running backs, 2 wing backs, and 1 setback directly behind quarterback Mark Hoffman. Play clock down to 1, and Clay Center is going to have to burn a timeout. We'll step away as well. 2nd quarter, 5:34 left to go here in the first half. 12-0, Southeast of Saline on KINA.
Put up more hay crop in less time with the Case IH Premium Round Balers. The RB565 Premium Round Baler from Case IH consistently builds bales even in varying crop and field conditions. With an overshot feeder and 5-bar pickup, the Case IH RB565 Premium Round Baler allows you to maximize your productivity on every pass. To find out more on the Case IH RB565 Premium Round Baler, see Can-Equip in Salina.
Work hard, play hard. Good luck, Trojans, from Roselawn Memorial Park in Salina. To learn more, visit roselawsalina.com.
Stay tuned here at halftime. We will talk to head coach Ashley Gilpin, Southeast of Saline volleyball team. I'm sure you've noticed, Southeast of Saline ladies are playing volleyball. They had a solid week of play, knocking off some state-ranked teams, beating Beloit, their first league loss in some time for the Beloit Trojans. And Southeast of Saline right now, queens of the net, as they are playing very, very good volleyball. We'll talk to Coach Gilpin at halftime. Here's Hoffman handing it off and immediately stopped. Southeast of Saline in on the running back and nowhere to go that time for Carter Long. 4th down coming up for the Tigers.
Yeah, and once again, it looks a whole lot different down here on the sideline as these front three just absolutely doing an incredible job up there. And you go back to your interview and how good the volleyball team's doing. Fall sports is kind of the place to be right now if you're Southeast of Saline.
There's been a high standard set. Volleyball's kind of been the program that isn't at that state championship thing, and that's nothing to say about the volleyball team. They've been pretty good, but now they're starting to keep pace here. Here's a take by Luke Gebhardt of this punt from Clay Center, and he's going to be slung back inside the 20-yard line. And they are going to give Southeast of Saline the ball here at the 18. So a long field in front of Southeast of Saline, a chance for them to again take this clock down. 4:47 left to go. Southeast of Saline does have a timeout, or excuse me, all 3 timeouts. They have not taken one as of yet here in this first half of play. Southeast trying to get everybody set here. Here's Michael Murray. Will split out to the left-hand side in the slot. Out wide will be Tucker Thaxton. 1st down and 10 from the 18. Southeast of Saline will give it to Nate Friesen. Friesen jump cut to the outside. Now he's looking for space. Takes on a Tiger and gets across the line of scrimmage to the 21-yard line on a gain of 3.
And you can say a good job of Clay Center by making open field tackles, because there's been 3 or 4 of them where shoestring tackles have saved touchdowns in big plays.
Absolutely. Friesen having a good day here. 6 carries already, 45 yards. Now 7.5 a carry. 2nd down from the 21. Here's the inside handoff to Landon Allen. He'll try to stretch it out to the left-hand side, destroys a Tiger on his way by, and he'll get 1.5 yards. Boy, that was a huge hit delivered there by Landon Allen.
Yeah, he absolutely ran over the defender right there. And this is something, this team is very physical. I've noticed running the ball this year, just doing a great job of not backing down and running through contact.
From the 23, it's 3rd down and 6. 4 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Gebhardt wants to throw. Luke puts it out to Landon Allen. Allen has to get the high catch, but then he gets his feet underneath him, turns upfield, and he's going to make it all the way out to the 31-yard line on a gain of 8. It's a Southeast of Saline 1st down.
Yeah, and he caught that football right in front of me, looked over, saw the sticks, knew exactly where he had to go, and got an extra 2 yards on top of it.
42 yards on 4 receptions for Landon Allen. Southeast of Saline at the 30-yard line. Here's the run, left-hand side, Murray. He cuts it back up into the hash, and he'll have 5 yards. Michael Murray carrying the ball more often than usual so far here in this game. Already 4 carries for 37 yards for Murray.
And Clay Center doing a great job of setting the edge and not letting these speedsters get around the outside, forcing them back into the middle.
7 yards there by Michael Murray. Takes it out to the 37-yard line. Gebhardt wants to throw. Puts it out there to Murray. It bounces high off of his fingertips and out of bounds. That'll bring up 3rd and 4 now for Southeast of Saline. And that incomplete pass stops the clock with 3:04 left to play here in the first half. So far, Trojans leading 12-0.
I think if you're Southeast here and the average yardage of play you're getting on completions or runs, I think you call 2 plays here knowing you just got about 4 yards to go.
3rd down and 4, Southeast. All the Trojans now looking over at their sideline, taking in the hand signals of Coach Douglas, Coach Potacek. 4 wide receivers to the right. Little bubble screen here to Landon Allen. Clay Center is there, and they are going to two-way tackle Landon Allen for a loss of 2 yards.
Yeah, it looked like Jake Gebhardt right there kind of made contact just a little bit, and the defender made a great job of getting around him and able to make that open field tackle.
So for the first time tonight, Southeast of Saline is looking at a 4th down. It's the first time that they have faced a 4th down, and looks like Luke Gebhardt will be in punt formation. Line of scrimmage here at the 35-yard line. Brody Hayes back deep for Clay Center. He's standing inside his own 30. Gebhardt asks for the football. Good snap from Mac Chambers. High punt that kind of dies at midfield, and it's going to take a Tiger bounce back towards the 50, and it's going to be downed there by Josiah Monday at the 49. Best field position start of the night for the Tigers.
Yeah, and with 2:17 left to go here in the first half, you're probably going to see still a heavy dose of them trying to run it in between the tackles, and we're going to mention it again. These front 3 just have to keep winning this ball game for the defense.
Still no first downs yet for the Tigers. 1st down and 10. Nose of the football, setting at the 50-yard line chalk. Tigers have a short field and 2 timeouts. Hoffman looks over his formation, has a 2 wide receiver set, one of them on each side. He fakes it inside, wants to sling it out to a receiver. He is going to have Henry out there on the outside. And the first down of the game by the Tigers, it's Jackson Henry out on the right for a gain of 12.
Yeah, great job right there by Hoffman, doing a little a fake dive up the middle, took 2 steps back and gets the ball out quick. And we talked about it in pregame. He gets the ball out, and it is going to get there, and it is a good-looking pass to get there.
But what's your hurry-up offense look like, though, when you're not used to hurrying up? Clock still running. Here's Hoffman, back to throw again. Scrambles to his left, throws a dime in the middle of the field, and a catch by Clay Centers. Weston Hammond. Hammond is inside the 20 at the 16-yard line.
And that was a great route by Weston Hammond, just running about 8 yards up the field, planted that outside foot, shoulder fake, drag across the middle, and a great job by Hoffman to get him the ball.
So back-to-back first downs for the Tigers here in the passing game. They have moved the football all the way down to the 16-yard line. Here's Hoffman to throw again. Scrambling out, puts one in the air. It's going to be complete. And the tackle out here on the edge by Michael Murray. He's going to bring down the Tiger at the 8-yard line. It's a gain of 8.
Giving up a lot of space on the outside are these defensive backs, and knowing they haven't thrown the ball a lot, you wonder if they're going to change that up and put a little pressure on and see if they can make Hoffman beat them down the field.
72 seconds left to go in the red zone. Clay Center. They're going to go back to the run here, handing it off straight up the gut, and it's going to be Carter Long, and Long will take it up the middle inside of the 5. First down, Clay Center. They'll have first and goal.
And we go under a minute here. I don't think they're in any hurry to call it. Well, it looks like they're going to call a timeout now.
5 yards on that last carry for Carter Long. And is it an official's timeout?
I don't think there was a timeout called. One official was winding the clock after that first down. The ball was set, and we kind of heard that earlier when heard the officials talking. As soon as that ball was set, they were going to start winding the clock. Let's see if I can make my way over here and hear what they're going to have to say.
Okay. Line of scrimmage is at the 3-yard line right now for Southeast of Saline.
Looks like they're telling them to put 104 back on the clock.
Okay. So they're going to add about 9 seconds. And then he gave him the alligator jaw.
I saw that.
Applause. First down here inside the 5 for the Tigers. 104 left to play. Clay Center does have 2 timeouts if they need it. But they've been staring at the sideline the whole time that we've been getting the scoreboard here reset.
I was going to say, my question is, why didn't they start the clock on the whistle? They're just now starting it.
I don't know. Here's Hoffman, inside handoff. It's going to go to Carter Long, and Long looking for the goal line is going to be stacked up short again. He'll be at the 1. 4 carries, 10 yards for junior Carter Long for Clay Center. He came into this game the second leading rusher of 3 running backs that were all kind of right in there together. I am a little surprised Brody Hayes hasn't touched the ball on offense.
Yeah, being clearly the leading rusher on this team.
Here's Hoffman trying to plunge ahead, back behind that big offensive line, and he's going to have a quarterback sneak for a touchdown. So a touchdown from 1 yard away for Clay Center's quarterback, Mark Hoffman. Hoffman now with 12 yards, and that was his 5th carry of the night, and Clay Center is on the board, and they will be on now to kick the point after. Jackson Henry, the Tiger kicker.
And I believe that is his 4th or 5th rushing touchdown. Doesn't carry the ball up, but like you said, when they get inside the 5, that's probably where all his touchdowns are coming from.
Henry 14 out of 18 on extra points so far this year, and now make it 15 makes as he adds a point after. 12-7 now is our score with 29.5 seconds left to go. We'll be back with the conclusion of the first half after this on KINA.
Citizens State Bank has been serving Kansans for over 100 years. We are a full-service bank that can service your personal, business, and agricultural lending and deposit needs. Citizens State Bank offers 24/7 convenience with mobile deposit, online banking, and our ATM conveniently located in front of the building. Stop by and see our friendly and helpful staff. Citizens State Bank at 600 Maple Street in Gypsum, Kansas. Citizens State Bank and Trust Company is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here to round out this first half. Keep it right here at halftime as we enter the Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. We will have scores for you on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. We'll also have your stats from the offensive side of the ball for both teams through the first half of play. And we will also have a conversation about Southeast of Saline Lady Volleyball with head coach Ashley Gilpin. That's all coming up at the half here in about 29.6 seconds of scoreboard time. Here's Jackson Henry. He wants pop-up onside type of kick, and a very good job over there by Southeast of Saline fielding that football and keeping it out of harm's way. And, Russ, that's going to give Southeast of Saline good field position here and a shot with 3 timeouts as Trayton Olson caught that on a fair catch.
Yeah, and that's a great job by Trayton Olson to get that fair catch knowing it was there. But you're still 28 seconds, 29 seconds left with 3 timeouts. So the game's wide open still.
Luke Gebhardt will put 4 wide receivers on the right-hand side. Tucker Thaxton a single on the left. He might have one-on-one coverage. Here's Gebhardt looking to the right. Now he wants to go over the middle of the field. Here's Michael Murray, and Murray doesn't catch the ball. Not sure what happened there. That looked strange.
He took his eye off of it just long enough. He kind of peeked over at the offside safety coming over. I saw his head turn and then turn right back around where the football was. So just took his eye off it just long enough, unable to reel it in.
A lot of traffic in there in the middle of the field. Incomplete pass will stop the clock. 23.9 seconds now on the clock. Here's Gebhardt rolling out to the right, unloads it, has Landon Allen in the flat, 45-50. Allen will get the first down and then step out of bounds at the Clay Center 47-yard line. It's a gain of 10 on the play.
A great job there by Landon Allen, knowing the situation, down in distance, get the first down, but also got to get out of bounds, stop the clock. Still have 3 timeouts, so you can still run plays across the middle of the field.
10 yards to Landon Allen. So far leading Southeast of Saline in receiving tonight. Gebhardt now wants to roll the other way, long side of the field. Here comes a Clay Center blitzer. Luke hits it, he hit it as he throws, and Michael Murray trying to chase that one down at the 10-yard line, and the ball bounces from out underneath him. And our first penalty flag of the night is in the Southeast of Saline backfield.
I think they're going to get roughing the passer, obviously, on that. Luke took his shot well after he had let go of the football, so we'll see if that's exactly what it is, but from the point of view down here and where the flag's landing, I think that's what we're going to get right here.
Be interesting to watch on live stream video on Salina Post. The timing of the hit, was that an issue, or was it how the hit was delivered all the way down? You hear the term driving him to the ground.
I think you're going to get the time of the hit on that. It was when the ball was thrown, I turned to look at the ball, and Michael Murray and Gebhardt was still on his feet. And then when I looked back, he was just hit it to the ground. So I think it was well late.
So this is a 15-yarder that will advance the football to the 32-yard line. And a first down for Southeast of Saline, but just 8.1 seconds left here in this first half. Again, all timeouts remaining for Southeast of Saline, but time right now an issue. Gebhardt's going to take the snap. He's going to roll out to the right. Little pump fake. Now he's going to run, and he's going to go out of bounds with 3.7 seconds left on the clock. Gain of 2 that time.
I think that's going to leave you time here, Devin, for one more play. I don't think you're going to have enough time to run anything and get a timeout here with just 3.7 left. So I think you got to get a shot to the end zone here.
Agreed.
They also have on the scoreboard it is 12-8. It is actually 12-7 because they kicked that extra point.
And a timeout will be taken here by Southeast of Saline. So far, a productive first half for the Southeast of Saline offense, especially in the air. 4 different Trojans have caught footballs. Landon Allen leading the way. He has 6 receptions, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Jake Gebhardt is right there, 4 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Michael Murray has caught 3 balls. He's also rushed 4 times for 40 yards. Southeast of Saline did have that mistake in the passing game. 3rd down and goal down at the 2-yard line, and an interception taken away by the Tigers, Jackson Henry. So we'll have to see the impact of that play, and Southeast of Saline coming away with no points on that drive. But it could easily be 18, 20-7 right now.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you right there. That's just that unfortunate play where Luke didn't see the defender from the far side of the field come across. So see if you can get one play drawn up here and try to get one of these guys in the end zone.
1 play left here. They're going to stack 4 wide receivers to the left-hand side. Luke looking that way. Now he's in trouble, running out of time. He's going to come back to the right to Jake Gebhardt, and it's going to be intercepted right in front of the goal line by Clay Center. And again, that's going to be Jackson Henry who took that ball away on Gebhardt's interception. It was a desperation pass to the end zone. That will lead us at halftime. Curious to hear the comments of head coach Mitch Gebhardt as they go to the locker room. I think really things going your way here in the first half outside of just that last Clay Center drive and the interception thrown on a 3rd down and goal at the 2. I know he's want to cut down on penalties. They have done that. But right now it is just a couple of different mistakes on coverage and also that interception on offense. We'll get Coach's thoughts here as he joins Russ down on the field. Of course, that is brought to you by Frisbee Construction. First he has to get the football in the water cooler, and now he'll talk to Russ.
Coach, great first half by the defense there, except for that last drive giving up the first down of the game. Your thoughts overall in the first half?
Yeah, I think our defense played pretty well. Our offense just didn't finishing things. I feel like we've moved the ball pretty well. I don't know what yardage is or anything else, but I feel like we've moved the ball. We just haven't been able to punch it in.
Yeah, and that leads in my next question. That 3rd and goal you had, you drove second drive of the game, drive all the way down. Just unfortunate on that play right there to get that interception. But it all leads back to your defense. I think when you get the offense going, adjustments you'll have for the second half.
Sure, I think our defense is playing good. Hope they didn't find something there that we need to maybe make an adjustment because of that last drive. But I think we'll get them going.
Okay, good luck second half, Coach. Devin.
Mitch Gebhardt on the field, brought to you by Frisbee Construction. We are at halftime. When we come back, we will have all kinds of good stuff for you. After the break, we will start with head volleyball coach Ashley Gilpin. It's on the Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. We are at the intermission. 19-8 is our score. Excuse me. That's not right. It is 12-7. 12-7 our score. Southeast of Saline leading at the break here on KINA.
Kickoff Auto.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shelby Dixon reporting live for Elite Sports Zombie Expedition ESZE, Channel 23. We are here at Elite Sports, just right south of Salina, in between Old Highway 81 and I-135. There is currently a zombie apocalypse occurring where the infected are trying to eat human flesh. We are currently right outside the quarantine zone, but I'm going to send you inside the quarantine zone to Sergeant Carter.
This is Sergeant Carter. We set up a perimeter to help contain the infected, but we need your help. They are multiplying by the minute. We have trailers with semi-automatic weapons equipped to take down these zombies. If you can pull the trigger, I don't care how old you are, if you can pull the trigger, please come out here and roll to be a zombie hunter and help us.
Of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her. Today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See me, Kelly Kitchener, at our brand new location, 1809 South Ohio in Salina.
Troublesome car repair and everyone has told you it cannot be fixed or it's way too expensive? Try McKim Auto Service in Gypsum, Kansas. They do quick, dependable work and provide the lowest hourly rate in the area. McKim Auto will service your vehicle from front to back and everything in between. They treat you and your car like a friend or even family. McKim Service specializes in engine and transmission rebuilds. 701 Maple, Gypsum, Kansas. Wouldn't trust anyone else with my family car. So, if your repair seems grim, remember McKim. Give them a call today to make your appointment.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here on the Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report, I'm Tyler Henry, and it's time to catch up with SES head volleyball coach Ashley Gilpin, presented by Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to talk with us after, let's call it a busy week for your girls on the court.
Yeah, we have been busy. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So before we get into more detail on what happened at the Lions Invitational, I wanted to ask, going into that tournament, your team had performed really well, but they had looked shaky in a couple of spots. You guys knew this was going to be a loaded field. Where do you feel like your team was mentally going into that atmosphere?
I think they were just excited. I don't think they were nervous. I don't even know if they had kind of voiced their expectations. They were just happy to be playing on a Saturday and excited to play.
Sure. You guys get that first big win over Ellenwood in pool play, a ranked opponent, a perennially great volleyball program. Was that kind of an aha moment for you guys, do you think?
I don't know if it was for them because I didn't talk to them a lot about the teams going in. I knew that Ellenwood was ranked, and I also knew Little River was ranked, but I didn't, put the pressure on them. I just said that we're going to play some good teams and we're going to play our best volleyball and see what comes of it. I just didn't want any pressure on them that wasn't necessary.
You and I talked about this, but again, you beat Ellenwood in pool play. You beat Little River in the semifinals. Going into that championship game at the Lions Invitational against Ellenwood, you said you had a message for your team. I mean, take me through what you told the girls, but also how they responded to that.
Well, sometimes you beat a ranked team once and then you turn around and you get beat again and people are kind of like, oh, well, that was a fluke, And I just told the girls, I said, you played them so well the first time. I promise you, if you keep your energy up. I also told them, I said, you have to do this for yourselves and you have to do it for the program. You have to prove that this isn't a fluke, that we are a good team and that we've been working hard and we're just kind of building a name for ourselves.
So you guys take all of that momentum from Lions and you kind of transition into, I would say, arguably the biggest game the biggest match on your schedule against Beloit. It's obviously great to beat some of these ranked opponents in a tournament like this, but I mean, getting a chance to come out and beat the number 3 team in your own class, in your own league, it's just got a different feel to it, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does. I mean, I can't even tell you the level of excitement that our team felt on Tuesday night after we split with Beloit.
Well, and talk me through that match. I mean, what were some of the best things that you saw from your team against a Beloit team that, I mean, let's be honest, has kind of run the NCAA for the better part of the last several years?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that they hadn't lost a league game in like 5 years. I knew as the head coach for Southeast, we had never beaten them when I was coaching. That first match was tight. It was close as well. We went 3 sets. I figured out the point difference of each set, and it was 15 points. So that's how close we are. I told the girls after that first loss, I said, this doesn't mean anything. You are still, in the hunt for the league title. You can still beat this team. We can split tonight. Keep your energy up and go into it positively. And they did their job. It was fantastic. I knew they had it in them. I really did. And here's the kind of the funny part of it. And maybe Beloit didn't play well either. I don't know. But we didn't have our best matches. My back row struggled. My libero kind of had a rough night. So our passes weren't perfect, and our setter was kind of running around crazy-like, but we still managed to do it. I can't tell you how excited that makes us to play him again.
Sure. Well, and what is this win? I mean, again, coming off of the loss the same day, you get beat by a team that has historically kind of handled that over the years. I mean, what does that say about the strength of this team mentally to come back and win the second match against Beloit?
Well, I was telling the girls the other day, I said, if I had to pick a word right now to describe you, the word is grit. And we were even down in the third set. We were down 7-4, 8-4, and then we caught back up, and then we went down by 3 or 4 points again, and we caught up again. They just kind of have a never give up attitude right now. And I hope that they can keep it. They're gritty.
We've talked a lot about momentum. We've talked a lot about confidence. But, I mean, in terms of the fundamental volleyball happening on the floor, I wanted to ask you this. I mean, where have you seen this team grow the most? And what are some of the finer details that you guys will be looking to improve down the home stretch of the season here?
They've improved all around, just kind of the way they work together. I'm seeing them allow each other to help them. Sometimes a setter or a passer can want to be a hero and get everything. But it's best for the team if they let someone else help them out. I see them doing that for each other. Our blocking is a little bit better. We've struggled with that in the past, and I do think we're getting up and we're getting, not a ton of blocks, but we're getting some, and we're getting lots of touches, which gives our back row a little bit of a break. I think the one thing that we're still working on that's key or crucial to our success is communication. Sometimes we get a little quiet out there. And, we can't be quiet. We've got to make noise the entire match.
I know you guys will be on the road for the next 3 sets of matches you have. You'll be back home on October 10th against Ellsworth. Last question for you here, Coach. I mean, we hear people talk a lot about the tradition of excellence at Southeast of Saline with athletics. You mentioned before that, again, you wanted this team to win, not just for themselves, but for the program as well. I mean, what does all of this mean, in your opinion, for the program of SES volleyball as a whole, kind of within the bigger picture?
It's kind of twofold. It's kind of, I think to myself, we're starting to make a name for ourselves. Even I think some football teams who are in charge of a Barstool account said, oh, Southeast is a volleyball school now, which is kind of, it's funny. We've been there this whole time, and we've been working hard this whole time, but, they're starting to make a name for themselves. And, part of that is some pressure. Like, oh, now we have to perform every time. Now we have to win every game. I don't want them to feel like that. but it's nice to get our name out there, and it's nice to earn that respect and show people what we've got.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much for stopping by today, and best of luck to you and your team the rest of the way.
Hey, thanks a lot.
That was SES head coach Ashley Gilpin, presented by Juanel Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com. Coming up next, more of the Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories halftime show and the second half between Southeast and Clay Center. It's all right around the corner on KINA.
When does normal acute pain become abnormal chronic pain? Chronic pain can be one of two types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Saline Pain Clinic. Our pain specialist will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
The Appliance Center. It's where you go to shop for washers, dryers, kitchen appliances, furniture, Pellet Grills, TVs, and so much more. If you are looking for a local, family-owned business, visit the Appliance Center. We're in the big red and white building on South Broadway in Salina. Come experience the Appliance Center difference.
To Coach Gebhardt, the players, coaches, and fans, let's make this a Football Friday to remember. Roseline Memorial Park wishes you success this season. For more information, visit RoselineSalina.com.
This October, the Zombies are coming to Elite Sports Paintball Complex, and we need to prepare now. Here's what you should know. There will be a limited number of people each night for the Zombie Expedition. The best way to secure your spot for the upcoming Zombie Expedition is to reserve your space now. Don't miss out. We need your help in fighting zombies. Tickets are available right now at zombieexpedition.com.
Stardust Trophy Downtown Salina has all the cool football medals and trophies your team needs for its players when their practice session pays off in big wins. Choose from tons of trophy styles and customize it exactly as you want. Stardust Trophy even has special trophies just for fantasy football leagues. Just for fun, choose football bobblehead trophies. Got an autographed or special football? Show it off in a special acrylic showcase from Stardust Trophy. 121 South Santa Fe, downtown Salina.
This is Tammy Bedreau at the Bank of Tesket. If you're looking to purchase your new home in the near future, I want you to know we offer a variety of loan options to finance your home purchase. I would love an opportunity to be your lender. Give me a call or stop in today to learn more. We are local lenders making local decisions. The Bank of Tesket, committed to those we serve. MLS number 712440. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here at Steve Fritz Field on the campus of Southeast of Saline High School. Devin Haney here at halftime. Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. And a chance to check in on our first half stats. Let's do that now as we look at the stats for Clay Center Tigers. These stats are brought to you by Citizens State Bank in downtown Gypsum Bank, where the Trojans bank. Clay Center's Mark Hoffman throwing the football, 4 out of 6 throwing the ball. He has 43 yards on the night. No touchdowns, no interceptions so far. Hoffman also leading the team in carries, 5 carries, 12 yards. He has the touchdown on a quarterback sneak. Carter Long, 4 carries, 10 yards. Owen Craig, 3 carries, 2 yards. Most of the Clay Center yardage was gathered up in that last drive that they had that they scored the touchdown on. They hadn't had a first down until then. Weston Hammond was a big part of that drive. 2 catches, 30 yards. 1 catch for Jackson Henry of 12 yards. Total yardage for Clay Center at the half, 24 yards rushing, 43 yards passing, 67 total yards. Southeast of Saline's Luke Gebhardt, 14 of 17 throwing the football, 121 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Luke's favorite target so far is Landon Allen, 6 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Jake Gebhardt has 4 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Michael Murray, 3 catches, 28 yards. Tucker Thaxton, a catch with 7 yards. Rushing the football so far, Nate Friesen, 6 carries, 45 yards. 39 yards on 4 carries for Michael Murray. Luke Gebhardt has 10 carries for 27 yards. A carry for 2 yards for Landon Allen. Trojans at the break, 106 yards rushing, 121 yards passing, a total of 227 yards So the score really closer than what it should be right now. Southeast of Saline with 227 total yards. Clay Center with just 67, but our score on the board reads 12-7, Southeast of Saline. When we come back on the Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report, we will check the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. It's coming up after this break on KINA.
I can't believe I got rear-ended.
Hey, don't sweat it, Brian. Even the best drivers have a crash from time to time. That's why we have our collision center. We're a direct repair facility, which means no long waits from your insurance company. Our factory-certified technicians can handle all makes and models in our fully equipped body shop. When you bring your vehicle into us, it'll be like your crash never happened. Come on over to Home Automotive Collision Center. You'll be glad you did.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Saline is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
Citizens State Bank has been serving Kansans for over 100 years. We are a full-service bank that can service your personal, business, and agricultural lending and deposit needs. Citizens State Bank offers 24/7 convenience with mobile deposit, online banking, and our ATM conveniently located in front of the building. Stop by and see our friendly and helpful staff. Citizens State Bank at 600 Maple Street in Gypsum, Kansas. Citizens State Bank and Trust Company is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Salina Regional's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is your home field advantage. Our physicians include sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We're ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on the campus of Southeast of Saline High School, Devin Haney, Russ Kossel, Big Sam Pretty's producing and engineering, Brian Dennett, live stream video on salinapost.com. You can check that out. And that is presented and brought to you by Elite Sports Paintball Complex. The Zombie Expedition is coming second weekend of October. Second full weekend, I should say. Starts on the 15th on a Saturday. Excuse me. On a Friday. Let me get all that right. Jeez. The 14th it'll start. More information, zombieexpedition.com. You can also get your passes to start out. Fast Pass is the way to go. Take my advice on that. Russ, what do you think here? Your new image audio keys to success here in the second half. It feels one-sided except for when you look at the scoreboard. Southeast of Saline, 227 total yards. Clay Center was 67 total yards. But when you look at the lights to the south end zone, it's 12-7. It's just a 5-point lead for Southeast.
And I think this is easy for your new image audio keys the second half. You got to finish the drives. I mean, you get all the way down there and you turn the ball over. You had to punt one time, but, I mean, you 227 yards and 12 points to show for it. You got to finish drives. I think that's just your defense and your line is playing exactly. You're winning the line of scrimmage. You're winning everywhere else except for the turnover battle. And you got to finish drives.
See what Southeast can do here to cushion that lead a little bit. They will start out here in the second half with the football. Some scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Wichita Collegiate leads Chapman at halftime, 21-0. Wamego over Coffeyville, 20-0. Rossville over Silver Lake, War on 24, 7-0. Beloit over Phillipsburg at halftime, 28-6. Valley Center leads Salina Central, 10-6. Hutch over Salina South, 35-7. Abilene over Rose Hill, 12-6. Here's the reception of the second half kick. It's going to be taken by Nate Friesen, and Friesen will angle his way from left sideline back to the middle of the field, and he will get to the 20 and then no more. And that's where Southeast of Saline will start the second half.
Good special teams coverage right there by Clay Center. Southeast obviously wanted to set something up to the near side of the field to us, and they ran all the way across, but really only about a 6-yard return on that. So Southeast with their worst starting field position of the night, and see if they can drive down the field and put points on the board.
Backed up at their own 20. First down and 10 here for the Trojans. Purple tops, white pants as you see it live on Salina Post. Here's the give to Nate Friesen. And Friesen's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and then no more. Gain of about a half a yard on that play for Nate Friesen.
Friesen on the carry. Gain of about 1, second down.
Great job right there. Offensive lineman. Might have been Caden Isaacson right there driving or Mac Chambers, one of them, driving the defensive end almost out of bounds on the sideline.
Like Isaacson on that play. Second down and 9 for Southeast of Saline. Luke Gebhardt wanting the football. Looks to throw. Now he's going to tuck it away. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there for Gebhardt. It's 11th carry of the night, 27 yards. Things have been tough in the rushing game so far for Luke. And now a third down and 9 coming up here for Southeast of Saline.
And see if Southeast can set up maybe a little play action, a pump fake that we've seen in the past with one of these speedsters on the outside.
2 wide receivers on each side as they go 2 by 2. It's a total of 4. Friesen still in the backfield. They fake him the ball now over the middle, and Luke Gebhardt looking for Michael Murray over the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. That'll bring up now 4th and long.
Yeah, I don't think any way, shape, or form that's how you wanted to come out and start the second half with about a yard gain and nothing going up the middle. Passing game looking a little off, and just going to have to rely on that stingy defense again to keep Clay Center out of the end zone.
You wonder how Clay Center is going to approach this second half when they get the football, because they had success and got their first down of the night and the touchdown by passing. Here's Gebhardt into that stiff wind. It's going to be taken by Brody Hayes, and he's going to return this football to the 41-yard line before he's piled up there by a bunch of Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Yeah, great job on coverage by Mac Chambers right there to get down the field and lay the stick, because Brody had a full head of steam coming when he caught that football. So Clay Center starting in Southeast territory for the first time.
Tigers will start out here at the 43-yard line. Remember that drive that they scored on right before the half? They started at midfield at the 50. First down and 10, Tigers. Mark Hoffman brings his offensive unit back out onto the field. And he will have 2 wingbacks, a running back directly behind him, and 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side. Hoffman wants to throw, puts it up, and an overthrow of a receiver coming out to the left. He was looking for Hayes that time out of the backfield, and he overthrew Brody Hayes out here on the left-hand side of that Tiger offense.
It's a good thing that pass was overthrown, as Brody had a step on Landon Allen. And the old number 7 on number 7 matchup, and the white jersey won that, just Hoffman unable to find him.
Incomplete pass on first down brings up second down and 10. Hoffman now 4 of 7 throwing the football. His completions in the first half, 1 yard, 12 yards, 22 yards, 8 yards. Second 10. Same formation. A wide receiver on each side. They sneak the inside handoff to Brody Hayes, and Hayes will twist and turn inside of the 40-yard line. He will get to about the 37. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that is his first carry of the night and his first touch on offense.
Yeah, coming into this game, averaging almost 76 yards a game. Said 22 carries for 303 yards, so great job by bottling him up if you're Southeast.
I wondered in the first half if he was healthy at times, because they were just kind of using him more of a decoy than anything else, it seemed. Third down and 5 here for the Tigers. They're at the Southeast of Saline 37-yard line, trailing by 5. Comes a guy in motion. Hoffman's going to use him as a blocker and then roll out with that ball hanging around his waist. He's going to pass it down the sideline, and a receiver is Brody Hayes. They're going to say he caught it and then ran out of bounds at the 25. There's a gain of 12 on the play for the Tigers.
Great job by Hoffman right there. Obviously a designed rollout to the left. Easier for him to do being a southpaw quarterback, and got right to the sideline, found Brody right at the last minute, and a great catch to get feet in bounds.
Tigers with some rhythm here as they pick up another first down. They have moved the football now to the 25-yard line. They are pretty much sticking with the same formation here that they came out to start the second half with. That's a receiver on each side. Now they will bring Jackson Henry in a little bit tighter as he is wide to the right. Hoffman this time gives it to Hayes. Brody Hayes into the second level. And he is going to have wheels and go all the way down inside the 10 and flirts with the 9-yard line. It's a gain of 15.
That was a great design play right there. Hoffman handed it off, took a huge shot, then another fake up the middle. Other running back, Carter Long, took a huge shot, come out of the pile, and Brody Hayes has got a first down.
First down and goal to 9. All the Tigers looking over towards that sideline over their right shoulders. See what the sideline head coach Mark Henry has cooking up over there. Tigers looking to take their first lead of the night. Play clock down inside of 10. Hoffman now will duck under center. Man in motion. They want to run the option. Hoffman on the keeper into the second level. He's going to score for the Tigers. Clay Center out in front for the first time tonight. They take a 13-12 lead, and they are currently on a 13-0 run.
Yeah, and a good drive right there. I mean, you come up, you get the stop on defense to start the second half, and if you're Clay Center, this half couldn't have started any better. You go 3 and out, had they punt to you, and you march down the field just effortlessly almost.
Jackson Henry on for the extra point. His kick is up, and it is good. So Clay Center another 7 points. They take a 2-point lead, 14-12. 8:30 left to go here in the third quarter. Let's see how the Trojans respond when we come back. It's Trojan football here on KINA.
Kansas Wesleyan University is proud to offer bachelor's degrees in criminal justice and emergency management, with both programs available on campus and online. Graduates have gone on to positions in the Secret Service, various police departments, the Kansas Court of Appeals, and to serve as county officials right here in the Sunflower State. Want to know more? Visit kwu.edu today. That's kwu.edu.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here, southeast of Saline. Trojan football brought to you on KINA by Smart Insurance, also Suburban Appliance, Phillips Seed Farms, and Prairie Land Partners, John Deere. Trojans trailing for just the second time this season. They were down 3-0 early on in that contest last week, Russ, against Halstead. Now they are trailing by 2 here in the second half.
And went on a 30-0 run in that game when they got down for the first time. So hopefully something like that can happen out again.
Here's a kick by Clay Center. It's going to go out of bounds, and that will gift southeast of Saline with some good field position here. Southeast, a little bit on the ropes here. Clay Center with all the momentum. They have had 2 consecutive scoring drives, getting these 14 points and leading 14-12 over southeast of Saline. The Trojans need to respond here.
And Clay Center just now, they would have went over 100 yards of offense just now on that first drive of the game. And Southeast was well over 200, but on that first drive, only able to manage 1 yard in 3 plays.
So from the 35-yard line is where southeast of Saline will start their second drive of the second half, trailing by 2. Empty backfield for Luke Gebhardt. Fakes the pass. Now he wants to run. Comes right up the middle, and he's going to have 5. Out to the 40-yard line for Luke. One of his best runs of the night.
Sorry, Southeast really not going away and changing anything. Still running their design runs up the middle. Try to stretch it out.
Here's Murray on the right-hand side after a little bubble pass. Now he's going to cut it back to the middle. Murray still working here, and he is going to flirt with the 45-yard line and a first down for the Trojans after a gain of 5.5.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him the 46-yard line. Kind of a dangerous play right there. Murray on the catches it almost on the sideline, reverses field, runs 25 yards the other way, and then 5.5 up to get the first down.
It's one of those you ran 46 yards to get 5,
yes.
Right? Football now setting at the 45. We see Southeast picking up tempo a little bit here in this second half. Here's the fake to Murray on the end around. Luke's going to keep it straight ahead, looking for yardage, looking for the 50. He's brought down at the 49 after a gain of 4. 36 yards on 12 carries so far for the senior quarterback, Luke Gebhardt.
And as long as you can sit there and get, that 4 yards on first down, I think that sets you up huge, because it may not seem like a lot at 2 yards, but 2nd and 6 is a lot better than 2nd and 8.
From the 49, 2nd down and 6. Here comes Murray now in motion. They're going to give it to him. Murray on the jet sweep. Has a wall of blockers out in front. Delivers a stiff arm as he comes across the 50 to the 47-yard line. That's a gain of 4 for Michael Murray.
Another tough run for Michael Murray. But Clay Center doing a great job of stringing these plays out and keeping them lateral with the line of scrimmage instead of letting Southeast cut and get up the field, doing a great job of stringing it all the way to the out-of-bounds line and using that 13th defender.
3rd and short. It's a 3rd and 2. They're going to fake the same play to Murray. Going the other way, Luke Gebhardt will cross the 45-yard line and get a 1st down after a gain of 3. Boy, little chunks at a time here for Southeast of Saline as they're trying to paper cut this Tiger defense to death.
Yeah, and I think take what the defense is going to give you. If they're going to give you that 3-4 yard marker every time, you have to take it, and that's exactly what they're doing on this drive.
Landon Allen inside as they empty the backfield, 4 wide receivers. Here comes Murray in motion. He ends up in the backfield again. Play action to him. Gebhardt rolling out. Wants to go intermediate here to Friesen, and Friesen had to go down after a low ball. Couldn't come up with it at the 33-yard line as that pass goes incomplete, hits the ground.
And I think if he runs one more through his progression, yes, Allen was open and would have been a tough catch. Tucker Thaxton on the far side had put a move on the safety on the backside and came across the middle of the field on a drag route and had him beat by about 10 yards.
2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Southeast here. Bubble screen, left-hand side. Murray has it at the line of scrimmage. Now 5 yards to the 40. Gets another 5 yards and flirts with a 1st down sticks at the 33-yard line. Nice little play there on the short pass. Luke Gebhardt to Michael Murray.
I think they're going to maybe mark him just shy. Man, he didn't get a good spot once again on that ball as he reached it out. Almost what I thought would be another yard, but tough here to bring up 3rd down and short.
Yeah, about a length of a football. It's not even really a full yard. Gebhardt, design quarterback keeper. He's going to be inside the 30 to the 29. Gain of 4 on that play. Let's make it 5.
Yeah, just nice, easy play calling. No risk of anything. Just doing a great job of getting it up the field. 4 or 5 yards to carry. You just have to finish this drive as you get down the field.
1st down for the Trojans. Football sitting now inside of the 30-yard line at the 28. Still 5.5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Sweep play, right-hand side. Gebhardt on the keeper. Has a wall of blockers out there into the 2nd level now, into the crease, into the 10, to the 5, dragging Tigers all the way down to the 2-yard line. 26 yards for Luke Gebhardt on his longest run of the night. It's 1st and goal, Trojans.
And a great job by all the blockers out front. Landon Allen came around. Jake Gebhardt had his turn to the outside, his defender. Landon Allen followed, turned one guy inside, made a great block. Luke read it perfect and got right up the field to get inside the Can-Equip red zone.
They got the Trojans marked here at the 3-yard line where it's 1st and goal. Murray, Thaxton, Friesen all go to the left-hand side. Landon Allen in tight. Gebhardt looks to the right. Now the keeper into the end zone for a touchdown. Trojans take the lead back. They're up 18-14 with the extra point pending, and Luke Gebhardt has his first rushing touchdown of the night as he closes the drive on a 3-yard touchdown run.
And a great job. Let's chalk that one up to the 5 guys up front. You know, a lot of heavy doses of designed run right there, and able to win the battle up front where 2nd level had to make the tackle. Unfortunately for Clay Center, that's when you're already 4 yards down the field. So a great sustained drive, and not only that, they were able to finish and get it in for 6.
Running the swinging game for 2 on conversions, but this one is child's play as Gebhardt pitches it into Landon Allen, who is in the end zone. Nobody around him within 10 yards, and Southeast of Saline takes the lead back here from Clay Center. They were behind for a little over 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 17 seconds before they take that lead back. They go down the field. They get 20-14 now. Southeast of Saline leads it by 6 with 5:22 left to go in the 3rd quarter on KINA.
Don't get caught on empty. Fill up on all your basic needs at Asaria Oil and Hardware. We want to be sure you are fueled up and ready for whatever may be around the corner, no matter what time of day. Now live at Asaria Oil and Hardware, 24/7 pumps. No matter what time of day or night, your gas and diesel tanks can rely on us. During regular business hours, you can get your favorite pizza and snacks to have enough energy to win the day. Asaria Oil and Hardware, located in Asaria at the corner of Center and Main. We'll fill you up.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Big drive there for Southeast of Saline. They had good field position after Clay Center kicked the ball out of bounds, and then Southeast of Saline starting at the 35-yard line. They go down the field 65 yards on the touchdown drive. It ends up with a Luke Gebhardt 3-yard touchdown run. That was set up by a 26-yard Gebhardt run, where he put it just inside of the 5. Next play he scores, and Southeast of Saline is back out in front, leading now by 6. 5:22 left to go here in the third quarter. This is a good game.
That's a great game so far.
Here's the high kick, intermediate length by Wyatt Boyd, taken at the 20 by the Tigers. They're going to slice and dice their way up to the 30-yard line, and the Tigers will start their second drive of the second half from the 30. See what Mark Hoffman and company have up their sleeve for this, their second drive of the second half.
And see what adjustments Southeast has made after that first drive. We saw the defense together as soon as they came off the field, the ones that weren't on offense getting huddled up and together, and see if this front three can now once again kind of stiffen up front again, just like they did at the end of the first half.
This game is so far, fortunately, been relatively injury-free, penalty-free. Only had a couple of flags in this contest altogether. Here's Hoffman, fake pitch out, wants to pass, wants to go long, throws it up for grabs. Wyatt Boyd is in coverage. Hoffman was looking for Jackson Henry that time. Henry looked like he put on a double move, and Hoffman was just trying to get rid of that football as he had pressure bearing down on him. He threw it down the left-hand sideline. Wyatt Boyd goes step for step in there on coverage.
Yeah, and he had to get rid of it because Trevor Keller was right in his lap as he set up to throw that, so never really had a chance to set up that double move.
Clay Center more apt to throw the football here in this game in the second half than what they were early on.
They come into this game and only have thrown the ball 40 times all year.
Yeah. Here's Hoffman now, hands it off, big run. Brody Hayes, boy, he runs hard. And he has an 8-yard gain. Mac Chambers got up with the football, but Hayes was already down as he skids to a stop after a gain of 9.
And as hard as he runs and the hype that was with his stats and coming in and them kind of not going away with it, I'm with you. I wonder if there wasn't something either they seen on film that they could misdirect and kind of use him as a decoy, or if he wasn't healthy, nonetheless running hard when he gets the ball.
3rd and 1 now for the Tigers. Hayes goes in motion. Now they put brakes on things, and they're going to stop and look over the sidelines. Brody Hayes, one of the keys to his effectiveness is he wears one sock longer than the other. 3rd down and 1. Here's the inside handoff. Clay Center getting it through. Hard running here coming from Carter Long. He was hit at the line of scrimmage and then just kept surging ahead and ends up all the way out at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, low man's going to win, and Carter Long right there just kept his feet turning, was able to shake free of the defender at the line of scrimmage and able to get enough for first down.
That's his longest carry of the night, 9 yards. First down and 10 now for the Tigers at the 48, approaching midfield. They have looked really, really good. When you look at their offense, 2.5 minutes left in the first half until now. They're moving the football, they're getting first downs, mixing it up, and still keeping this methodical pace. They snap the ball with 5 seconds left on the play clock, and a huge play coming storming through right up the middle is Josiah Monday. Mark Hoffman goes down for a loss of 5.
And the one wrong read Hoffman has had so far was to pull that football out, because Josiah Monday just came untouched right there, and a great job to win that battle up front, make one swim move to wrestle down Hoffman for a loss of 3 yards.
Yeah, they actually said he got 3 yards, just probably backing out from under center. He had forward progress, I'm guessing. Here's 2nd down and long. Monday again with the hit, and this ball goes up over towards the Tigers sideline, and Josiah Monday has turned the wick up. He also had Slade Johnson, Cameron Whitty, and Trevor Keller in with it.
Yeah, and that pass intended for Jackson Henry out there, but no chance. I think Hoffman was just trying to get that one out and get it far enough past the line of scrimmage and get it out of bounds, because there was no chance for the receiver to run his route on that play.
3rd and 13 now for the Tigers. Southeast of Saline's defense being called on here and driven by those front three, playing very well so far. They need to get a stop here, though, and force the Tigers into another punting situation. Boyd and Gebhardt communicating on the right-hand side of that Tiger defense. Here comes a Tiger in motion. They go back to Hayes. He's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage and only gets 2 on the play. Josiah Monday in on the tackle.
Yeah, a great job of reading right there by those front three. You had 2 guys break through. Josiah Monday gets through, but able to keep his eyes up on the ball carrier and able to redirect himself to get him to make that tackle.
How hard is it for Josiah Monday to go from kill quarterback to, okay, now I got to play the run real quick? I mean, that's just a fraction of a second, and he made the right play all 3 times. Here is a punt. Now it's going to drive. Daniel Kerr back to the 10. Kerr gets a block. Now he tries to slip through a Tiger tackle, but now 2 Tigers converge on him, and Danny will be stopped here at the 15-yard line.
And you go back to that call about Josiah, how he's in quarterback hunt mode, and then he's got to redirect himself. That just shows discipline. Now, if you're not familiar with Josiah Monday playing on the line, that's because this is his first time playing on the line. He was a wide receiver last year. It looks like we got a flag on the field. And it's a personal foul against the kicking. Okay, they're going to have offsetting personal fouls, so they'll offset. But Josiah was called on to, hey, if you want to play, we need you here, and he'll do whatever he's got to do. And so far this year through 4.5 games, doing a phenomenal job.
An update on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Wichita Collegiate now, they are getting some big plays against Chapman. They are leading the Irish 28-0. Trying to sort everything out here, get the ball spotted. Those offsetting penalties will not affect where Southeast of Saline will start. It'll be at their own 15-yard line. This is the worst field position of the night. They've started the 20 and also at the 18 here in this game. This time now, starting, though, at the 15.
I think if you run a drive like you had last time, just to sustain, run some time off the clock, keep the clock moving. Now that you are ahead on the scoreboard, you want to keep that clock moving, but also want to be effective, still getting that 4 yards of carry.
Yeah, you look at the scoreboard, and I know you're up, but 6 points may not do it in this game because Clay Center has a very good kicker. They're going to get 7 every time down the field that they score. Here's Michael Murray on the bubble, gets a block on the outside, needed 1 more before he's driven out of bounds. He's going to have 6 yards out to the 21.
And I think that's an adjustment that was made in the second half. They're giving Michael Murray a lot more cushion now than they were in the first half, running him on the jet sweep. So he's got about an 8 to 9 yard cushion, so he can catch it and get 4 yards before contact's even there.
Got 6 there, 2nd down and 4. In motion goes Friesen. Gebhardt fakes the handoff to him. Now he puts his head down, and he's going to flirt with a first down after a gain of 5.
For about 5 yards.
Just take what they're going to give you. Another great job by those 5 up front to kind of clear that hole just long enough for Gebhardt to get through it into the second level to pick up the first down.
Luke had his biggest workload of the season so far in Halstead on Friday night. He had 20 carries in that game, but he is on pace to break that here. Already 18 carries, 78 yards for Luke Gebhardt. First down for the Trojans at their own 26-yard line. Gebhardt, little screen out left again to Murray. Murray's going to slam on the brakes, spin move, gets 5.
And Clay Center doing a good job of not wanting to give up the big play. Yeah, they're going to give up. They're giving up 4 to 5 chunk yardage about every play, but it's clearly been stated to them not to get beat deep by these speedy wide receivers.
2nd down and 5 now coming up. Ball sitting at the 31.
Cameron Whitty checking into the game now at wide receiver.
Yeah, he's coming in for Murray. He's going to visit with the Saline Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine trainer. Here's Gebhardt on a keeper. High snap. He's going to bring it down, bring up a 3rd down and about a yard. Like Nathan Weller that time buried his guy who got into the backfield. Mac Chambers slow to get up. After the 5-yard gain by Luke Gebhardt.
Stopping the clock. I'm not quite sure what they're doing here.
Not either.
Oh, they're gonna give him first down. That's what they're doing. They're looking and eyeballing if it was a first down.
So the eye says move the chains for the Trojans with 74 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. 6-point lead for Southeast of Saline. First down and 10 now at their own 31-yard line. Here's Gebhardt on a rollout, right-hand side. A Tiger makes him turn back up in. He slips a tackle, and he's going to make it to the 40 and get a gain of 4.
Clay Center does a great job at open field tackling. We talked about the shoestring tackles they had, but one of them was shoestring, the first one, but they're doing a great job at wrapping up in the open field. As it looks like Brody Hayes on that tackle, he's coming up a little slow.
Southeast on the short side of the field here on the right-hand side is going to stack 3 wide receivers all in a row. They're going to go away from them, go to Tucker Thaxton. Thaxton, if he slipped a tackle, he would have been able to get out. Now they're going to have a flag and a fumble over there on the far side with Thaxton one-on-one with the Tiger. The Tiger came up to tackle him. The ball came out. The official right on top of it threw a flag.
Yeah, I'm not sure with a face mask maybe or something, but that's the second time now we've seen Tucker Thaxton put the ball on the ground. The first one, he was fortunate enough that it went out of bounds. This one, unfortunate.
Clay Center celebrating over there. They must like where this penalty is going to go, and they're going to say no flag on the play. It is a fumble, and Clay Center recovers it. That's not good.
Just now your defense, you're trying to put a sustained drive together and give them a little bit of a break, as Clay Center able to just drive down the field, not getting points right now after that first drive, but you got to give your defense a blow and kind of sustain some drives here.
At the 42. That was a first down too, correct?
Correct.
You don't ever want to make turnovers, but first down turnovers are the worst turnovers.
And it was on that extra move he tried to make. He was wrapped up and tried to spin and shake and just lost the football.
From the 42-yard line in Southeast of Saline territory, after the fumble, Clay Center takes over. First down and 10. Here's Hoffman rolling out, wants to throw, has wide open spaces in front of him, has a guy at the sideline. It's going to be Henry, and Jackson Henry will catch it at the 31. It's a gain of 11.
And Southeast unable, as they're obviously doing design rollouts to the left for Mark Hoffman, but he does a great job of keeping his eyes down the field, waiting for a receiver. That receiver just ran himself open right next to the sideline.
They'll advance it to the 32-yard line. First down and 10 for the Tigers. Nearing the end of the third quarter. Just put everybody in rewind there. 16 seconds left to go. Here's Brody Hayes. In motion, catches the sweep, now cuts back inside, and he's going to be just inside the 30 at the 29, and that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter, right around the corner, 20-14. Southeast of Saline leads it by 6 as we come back with the final period here on Trojan Football. It's KINA.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shelby Dixon reporting live for Elite Sports Zombie Expedition ESZE, Channel 23. We are here at Elite Sports, just right south of Salina, in between Old Highway 81 and I-135. There is currently a zombie apocalypse occurring where the infected are trying to eat human flesh. We are currently right outside the quarantine zone, but I'm going to send you inside the quarantine zone to Sergeant Carter.
This is Sergeant Carter. We set up a perimeter to help contain the infected, but we need your help. They are multiplying by the minute. We have trailers with semi-automatic weapons equipped to take down these zombies. If you can pull the trigger, I don't care how old you are, if you can pull the trigger, please come out here and roll to be a zombie hunter and help us.
You're listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Good game here between a NCKL school in Class 3A, the Clay Center Tigers. They came in at 3-1. Southeast of Saline's Trojans. In Class 2A from the NCAA, they come in at 4-0. I think this one, they're going to fight this one out to the bitter end. 12 minutes left on the scoreboard as we enter the fourth quarter, 20-14. Southeast of Saline leads it, but Clay Center with a second down and 8, just inside of the 30-yard line. They are in Trojan territory trying to capitalize on a Southeast of Saline turnover. It was their third turnover of the night. Here's Hoffman, pitch out. Room over there on the left, into the second level, and a tackle by Wyatt Boyd on the running back there for the Tigers.
Wyatt Boyd on the stop.
Slade Johnson just overran that play. A great job to get through, but on the pitch, he almost took the pitch. He overcommitted just far enough to allow him to get a big gain.
6 yards there by Carter Long. Now an official's timeout as the Tigers looking at a 3rd and 1.
Not sure why they keep calling official timeout to stop and then start it about 5 seconds later.
Third and 1, Tigers. Inside of the southeast of Saline 25-yard line. Play clock down to 5. Hoffman's going to take the snap, and there's going to be procedure there. There was a bunch of Tigers moving early, and I think their 3rd and 1 is going to turn into a 3rd and 6. It is procedure against Clay Center. They are just on that cusp of moving early every time. It's such a timing deal, but they have been getting away with it most of the night and just having those plays be right on time. That time they did move early, several guys.
Yeah, and it's like the line is trying to get that eager edge and leaning forward, trying to time the snap, and that time it just bit them.
3rd down and 6 now. Back at the 29-yard line. Clay Center has a play. They come to the line of scrimmage, one wide receiver to the left. They're going to run it, and it is stopped. Holy cow, what a hit by Southeast of Saline. It was led by Trevor Keller. Holy cow. He brought the juice on that hit and lit up Carter Long.
Yeah, and then he lit him up, stood him up, and Mac Chambers came in and just finished him off. It's just a great job right there. And it looks like Clay Center are going to line up to go for it here.
They are going to go for it, it looks like. It's 4th down and 6 at the 29-yard line. It is breezy. They do have a field goal kicker. His longest field goal of the year is 32 yards. They are out of that space right now, just barely. Hoffman wants to throw. He's going to be swarmed and sacked. You can name a Trojan on the defensive line, and I guarantee you they were there. A big sack as Southeast of Saline comes in. That Trojan defense slams the door shut in the face of Mark Hoffman.
And it's 5-on-3 right there, and the front 3 up front just absolutely beat the 5 off the line of scrimmage. Hoffman didn't even have time to almost pull the ball out to drop back and pass before he had 6 arms draped around him, and a great defensive stand once again by Southeast of Saline.
So now the Trojans will come out on offense, leading by 6. Here's play action, a little bubble screen out to Murray. Murray, stutter step at the 35, gets to the 40, and all the way to the 45. He is right at the edge of a 1st down, maybe a little bit short. It's going to depend on the spot.
Yeah, and I think it looks like they're going to mark him a yard short right there. And good blocking once again out on the near side. It looked like Mac Chambers now coming out of the game. And Brody Chambers coming in.
Of course, you lose the senior, but get a bunch of size as the two brothers swap there. Here's a snap back to Gebhardt. He's going to hand it off to Friesen. Friesen right up the gut. Will get 3 and a 1st down. Stopped at the 47-yard line. Friesen's 2nd carry of the night. 8 carries in all, 49 yards. Line of scrimmage now for Southeast of Saline with a 1st down and 10 is their own 47 as they push it towards midfield. Big drive here in this game. 6 points Southeast of Saline lead. Here's Gebhardt riding Friesen all the way, 3 steps to the right, then he gets 1 yard, and then he is driven back by a very stubborn Clay Center defense.
Yeah, and I think this is probably the drive of the game right now if you're Southeast. You're going to have to get down if you can get this ball down into the end zone and put this at 2 scores. It will be huge with the way Clay Center runs their offense.
2nd down and 9 for the Trojans. Everybody kind of stacked up in tight on the right-hand side. Gebhardt wants to go that way. Takes the football, though, and on a reverse to Murray. Murray is going to... Looked like he was going to lose a couple of yards there, but he kept everything in bounds and surged ahead and maybe got a football on a half a yard.
And once again, Clay Center doing a great job of setting the edge on defense and not allowing Murray, Allen, any of these Southeast of Saline speedsters to turn the edge on the corner. So a great job of setting the edge by these corners for Clay Center.
Clay Center has pretty good team speed as well. I've noticed that about these Tigers, that they can also cover some territory pretty quickly here. Southeast of Saline now with a long stare over their sidelines. They have taken the play clock now inside of 10. Now it's to 5. They're going to be out of time here. They've taken too long. And Mitch Gebhardt's going to call a timeout. We will step aside as well. 8:14 left to go. Southeast of Saline with a 3rd down and 8 and a timeout. They want to talk about it here on KINA.
Maybe you don't play quarterback or make the highlight reel. Maybe you're not a high school athlete anymore. But just like an athlete, you can get first-class orthopedic care from Saline Ortho. Their doctors and staff strive to get you back to an injury-free, pain-free life as quickly as possible. Saline Ortho has a doctor on call 24/7 for all orthopedic injuries. So next time you're injured, trust the experts at Saline Ortho. Your voice, your choice, past, present, and future. See them online at salineortho.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Southeast of Saline, week number 5 here, out of district against Clay Center Tigers. This game brought to you by Stardust Trophy, along with the Bank at Tesket, Frisbee Construction, and Assyria Hardware and Oil. Big 3rd down and 8 here for the Trojans, as they are right at midfield at the 48-yard line. Luke Gebhardt so far here in the second half, 5 of 7 passing the football. He's 19 of 24 in the game. Trojans' biggest Achilles heel tonight, they have 3 turnovers. 2 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Gebhardt wants to roll that way. Now it's a pass back against the grain. Friesen has it, and he has to have some space. A block, though, in the middle of the field is going to draw a flag. Friesen is going to go all the way down the field and get caught inside the 5-yard line by Brody Hayes, but a flag back here at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get Tucker Thaxton coming back on a block. I'm not sure it would have affected the play any at all, but
love the play call.
Oh yeah, great play call. It looks like they're going to get holding, and the first one, Trevor Keller, the senior, coming over to talk to Tucker Thaxton, getting in his face and just saying, hey, it's okay, calm down. That shows great leadership by Trevor Keller out there on the field.
Yeah, those two were face mask to face mask there for quite some time as the flag flies. And now Southeast of Saline pushed back to the 40-yard line. It is going to be 3rd and 17. Boy, love the play call, though.
Yeah, it's set up perfect. And we've seen when Luke rolls out, his eyes are down the field, and it was sold excellent and just a nice throwback to Nate Friesen, unfortunately, with a hold on the play.
So the Trojans will try it again here on 3rd and long. 3rd and 17 from their own 40. Gebhardt with a clean pocket. Now a Tiger comes through. Luke sidesteps down the sideline. Landon Allen, a big catch. He turns and then is driven out of bounds at the 46-yard line. It is 4th and 4.
14 yards on the play.
And I think right there, knowing if you get close, I think there was 2 play calls there. If we get inside of 5 yards to go or on the plus side of the 50, we have to go for it. With Southeast averaging, the 4 to 5 yards every play in this half, I think this is a no-brainer. You have to leave your offense on the field.
13 yards there, 4th down and 4 now. Southeast of Saline will come to the line of scrimmage. 3 wide receivers on the right-hand side. They snap the football. Luke Gebhardt rolling out, wants to throw. He has a man, and it's a 1st down. Michael Murray takes it out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A gain of 9 on a 4th and 4.
First down.
And a great route over there by Michael Murray. You have to know that they're giving up. They're still backed off of him 7 to 8 yards. So they're running back and staying that 7 to 8 yards. He plants his left foot just past the 1st down stick. A great throw by Luke to get the 1st down.
To the 36. Here's Gebhardt again. Back to Friesen. Little stutter step. He reaches the linebacker level and is tackled down at the 30 after a gain of 6. 9 carries, 58 yards for Nate Friesen as he takes the football to the Tiger 30. 1st down, 5 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
And on that 4th down play, the most excited guys on that 11 men out on the field were the 5 offensive linemen, and I think it's showing after that run play right there.
At the 31. Friesen sets up directly behind Luke Gebhardt. They go back to Nate. He wants to string it out. Left-hand side, outrunning the string, and he's going to get 2 on the play. Boy, he just needed one more block out there to break another big play. Friesen gets 2, though, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 3.
And kudos to Clay Center. How many times have they got us saying if he just had one more block or just one more edge to turn the corner, just one more step. So a great job setting the edge to bring up 3rd and manageable here for Southeast.
Line of scrimmage is just inside of the 30. Southeast needs to get to the 26 for a 1st down. 2 wide receivers on each side. Gebhardt's going to run behind Landon Allen, and he is going to be caught, has his ankle swept out from behind, but he's going to have the 1st down. Gets 4 on the play, and that's enough to move the chains.
Yeah, and I think right now that's all you want to do is just get enough and another good open field tackle, but unfortunately for Clay Center, it's about a yard past the line of scrimmage.
Southeast is also chewing up a bunch of time here on this drive. They have taken the clock down to 6:14 left to go in this contest, leading by 6, 20-14. Using up as much clock as they can. They have a 1st down and 10 coming up. Football setting at the 30-yard line. 25. Apologize. And here's Friesen right up the middle. He's going to take it inside of the Can-equipped red zone. He crossed the 20, and he's going to be brought down at the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 8.
Yeah, and I think you need a heavy dose of number 3 right here and let him carry you down the field. He's got you this far. Averaging, I don't know what he's averaging or what you got him down for the game.
6 yards a carry.
Yeah, so, I mean, at this point, you just got to keep feeding him the football.
Actually gave him 6 on that play. It'll now bring up 2nd down and 4. Football setting just inside the Can-equipped red zone here at the 19-yard line. And Southeast all looking over towards their sidelines. They've taken the play clock down to 8. Luke Gebhardt now will get them all lined up. They have a single receiver to the right-hand side. They're going to stick with the run, though. Gebhardt this time fakes it to Friesen. He's going to spin at the 15, and he's brought down at the 14-yard line. And that will be a gain of 5 and another 1st down. Luke Gebhardt now flirting with 100 yards rushing on 23 carries. He has 97 yards. Looks like Clay Center is going to take a timeout. It's the first timeout in the half for the Tigers. That'll leave them with 2, and we'll take a break. 5:05 left to go. Southeast of Saline with a 1st down and 10. Trojans lead it by 6 here on KINA.
At home or on the road, K4 Garage will keep you moving. With over 12 years of mechanic experience, owner Nick Trout will diagnose and repair your engine to keep you in the game. Full-service gas, diesel, or tires. K4 Garage also has a fully stocked convenience store with snacks and drinks. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6, Saturday from 9 until 3. Trust K4 Garage with keeping you on the road. And if it has oil, they can change it at K4 Garage in Gypsum.
Work hard, play hard. Good luck, Trojans, from Roselawn Memorial Park in Salina. To learn more, visit roselawnssalina.com.
Back here at Steve Fritz Field on the campus of Southeast of Saline High School, Trojan football. Here tonight, been a pretty good game. It's brought to you by Mary Maids, also Frisbee Construction, and the Southeast of Saline Education Foundation, along with our friend Kelly Kitchener, Shelter Insurance in Salina. 20-14 is our score. 5:05 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Southeast of Saline leads it by 6. And right now the Trojans on a drive that started at the 15-yard line. And they have taken the football all the way down the field and now have a 1st and 10 at the Clay Center 14. Trojans trying to overcome 3 turnovers in this game. 2 interceptions and a fumble. Friesen directly behind Gebhardt. They give it to Nathan Friesen. He skips through the line of scrimmage into the 2nd level, inside the 5, and brought down at the 2-yard line. It's a 12-yard gain by Nathan Friesen. Boy, what a carry there. His 12th carry of the night.
And even more important, a great drive sustained as we go under 5 minutes to go, and now they're reeling to get in the end zone.
Southeast is going to shave as much time as they can off of this clock. After the 12-yard gain by Friesen, they're set up now 1st and goal at the 2. Southeast of Saline trying to go up by 2 scores here. Play clock down to 10. Game clock at 4:37. Friesen sets up left-hand side of Luke Gebhardt. 2 wide receivers on the right-hand side. Luke's going to fake it to Friesen. And he is going to go towards the goal line, and he's in. Luke Gebhardt with a rushing touchdown. Scores and puts Southeast of Saline up 26-14 with the extra point pending.
A good read right there by Luke. I think he could have either kept that one or handed it off to Friesen as they were stacked in the box. Nonetheless, it goes up 6 points to put this game at 2 possessions.
Second rushing touchdown of the night by Luke Gebhardt, and now a conventional formation, not the swinging gate for 2. Gebhardt goes to the back of the end zone, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Tucker Thaxton that time, and the 2 could not complete it. And it's still a 12-point lead. 4:27 left to go on this one. Southeast of Saline scores again on Luke Gebhardt's run. 26-14 is our score here on KINA.
Insurance is something we all need in our business, home, car, and life. But do you really understand what's covered? And most importantly, what you are paying for? Hi, this is Rob Carlson in the Salina office of Smart Insurance. Change is good, especially if you haven't looked at your insurance policy lately. I can help you understand what you need and where the gaps are in your coverage. We provide free quotes and take pride in looking out for you. Smart Insurance, with locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Give us a call today.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Luke Gebhardt has 2 rushing touchdowns in this game, and he has just put the Trojans up here on a score from 2 yards out. Remember, that drive started at the 15-yard line. Southeast of Saline all the way down the field, 85 yards. And Luke Gebhardt's run caps that drive. Boy, that was a statement drive there for Southeast of Saline, no doubt about it. Southeast now ready to kick it off to the Tigers. The ever-dangerous Brody Hayes back here for Clay Center to receive. About 4.5 minutes left to go, 4:27 on the clock. Boyd on the approach, wants to keep it away from Hayes. He's going to go to Fitzenmeyer, who takes it at the 20-yard line, and they're going to stop him right there. He might have called for a fair catch just inside of the 20-yard line. So Clay Center will start out right there.
It'd be interesting, Devin, what Clay Center does here with their play selections. If they continue to run the ball in the tackles or change it up and still throw the ball more.
Clay Center has thrown the ball more in this game than what they have typically all year long, but here in the second half, they're just 2 out of 5. So still looking for some success to duplicate what they did at the end of the first half. Here is Caden Isaacson in there. Excuse me, that's Mac Chambers. Chambers coming in from the left-hand side, hit Hoffman early, and Hoffman had to get rid of that football, throws it incomplete to avoid the sack. Yeah. Boy, Chambers came storming through off the left-hand side of that Trojan defense.
Yeah, coming through on a blitz right there. And when the front 3 are getting through, no problem, they pay more attention. You can send a middle linebacker up to get through in a wide-open hole.
You could tell the Tiger tackle that time was kind of stuck on whether he should stay inside or flare out and pick up Chambers. Should have picked up Chambers on that play. 2nd down and 10 now after the incomplete pass. Hoffman ducks under center. Hayes in motion. Hoffman wants to roll out. Josiah Monday chasing, and another incomplete bullet over the middle of the field from Mark Hoffman. 2 for 7 here in the second half.
Something after that first drive of the game first drive of the second half, that the offense for Clay Center kind of went all the way and marched down the field, because since then it's been all Southeastern defense on the second half.
Of course, these incomplete passes keep stopping the clock, so not a lot of time running off here. The Tigers are facing a 3rd down and 10. Trying to get everybody lined up. Play clock down to 5. They're going to snap it. Fake pitch out, and Hoffman is thrown down again, and it's Josiah Monday. Good gracious, so Josiah's having a day.
So looking at that from field level, the center didn't even touch him. Josiah goes untouched and just runs right around him, and before Hoffman knows it, Josiah Monday's in his lap.
3 sacks in the last 6 plays for Southeast of Saline, and Josiah Monday is leading the charge. Clay Center now has to punt. Brody Hayes standing back on his own goal line, and this ball's going to drop at the 45 and then take a roll to benefit the Tigers across the 50 to the 49. So Southeast of Saline's defense forces a 3 and out, And they do their job there. Now 3:33 left to go. It's 26-14 Trojans. And Southeast has the football back.
Yeah, and if you just sustain a drive here, if you're Southeast, don't change anything from what you did on the last. A heavy dose of run, whether it's Luke Murray on the end around, Nate Friesen, but you want to make sure that if you're running towards the sideline, you stay in bounds and go down to keep the clock running.
Chance Patochik, Trent Douglas calling in plays. Mitch Gebhardt with a watchful eye, asking them what they have on their minds right now. Here's the give to Nate Friesen. Friesen to the outside, trying to outrun the Tigers. Cuts it back up in, and he's going to be brought down at the 42-yard line. A big gain of 10 yards that time by Nate Friesen. Boy, he's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, just hit the edge right here and ran great. Now it looks like Danny Kerr coming in at quarterback and Luke checking out.
Okay. A little change of pace here maybe. We've seen Daniel Kerr come in and just break off big chunks of yards in this strategy. Luke standing right behind head coach Mitch Gebhardt. As Daniel Kerr is going to take the play clock down. They'll snap it here with 7 seconds left, and Daniel loses the snap. It's going backwards.
I think they're going to blow the play dead and have a false start. Very fortunate right there to have a false start.
And his false start against Southeast. They would have lost 10 to 12 yards, depending on the spot on that play. So they're only going to lose 5 on the false start. That's a very good break. Fortunate for Southeast.
Yeah, if you ever wanted a penalty to come, right there was the time to get it.
Kerr looking over at the sidelines now. Sweeps in back behind his center, Nathan Weller. Trojans go heavy on the right-hand side. Kerr running the read option, fakes it to Friesen. Now he wants to run straight up the gut. He's inside the 45-yard line to about the 43. And a minimal gain on that play.
And you talked about Kerr able to sustain drives and go big chunk of plays. That last home game we had where he had 3 carries on one drive after Luke went down with cramps and had 45, 50 yards rushing and 3 carries and a touchdown. So Daniel can do the job at quarterback, especially at running.
Ball setting on the 44. Kerr stays in there. 3rd down and about 3. Here's Danny. Now running. Kerr gets into the second level. He broke a Tiger tackle. He's inside the 40, and that'll be good for a Southeast of Saline first down as Daniel Kerr takes it to the 36-yard line. A gain of 8.
And chalk that one up to Wade Rutherford on the left offensive line. He pulled all the way around into that hole, cleared out the one guy that was there, allowing him to get up and get the first down.
So the football setting now just outside the 37-yard line for Southeast of Saline, and they have a brand new set of downs as the clock continues to roll. Clay Center not taking any timeouts here. They're just letting the clock roll down. 1:30 left to play, 90 seconds. And there are still 15 seconds on the play clock.
Yeah, I think you're going to run it out right here.
First down and 10. Kerr with the sweep, right-hand side. Has a couple of blockers out in front. Here comes a Tiger in, trying to hit him in the backfield, but Daniel is going to make a 3-yard gain and attain the 35-yard line.
Clay Center not taking a timeout again.
Interesting.
Yeah, because the play clock's going to reset to 40 every time. I mean, you're only going to have to run one more play.
It was 1 yard that time by Daniel Kerr. We're inside a minute. 15 seconds left on the play clock. Southeast is going to be able to take this down to about 35 before they snap the football. Daniel Kerr remains in there. And he's going to take a knee. Clay Center's not interested in stopping this. That's going to be the game.
I'm with you, Devin. I'm a little confused by that.
Southeast of Saline is going to watch the last 24 seconds run off this clock, and they are going to take the victory over a very good and red-hot Tiger team from Clay Center. Our final score, Trojans 26, Tigers 14. When we come back, comments from Mitch Gebhardt. Stats brought to you by the Citizen State Bank of Gypsum. a Vernon Jewelers gym of the game, and our Everhart Precision Ag pass of the game. It's all coming up in postgame. It's brought to you by Commercial Tire Centers after a Trojan victory 26-14 here on KINA.